We are brought to you by Boss Bears Supplements. That's Boss Bears Supplements at bossbears.co. Hard work, consistency, and determination are difficult to sustain when your mind and body can't keep up. Fuel your body with what it needs to perform like a boss. Whether you're closing deals, pitching a new business idea, or training in the gym, Boss Bears take your hustle to the next level. Our ingredients are the highest quality with potency and serving sizes that are the gold standard in the industry. Check out all of Boss Bear's products at bossbears.co. They have apple cider vinegar gummies. They have ashwagandha. They have all kinds of supplements in delicious gummy form. They also have them in pill form if you don't want the gummies. I prefer the gummies. They are delicious, and I've tried the apple cider vinegar. They are very good. Use code Nicky at checkout to save 10%. That's bossbears.co, code Nicky. We are brought to you by Clout Power Supplements. That's KLOUTPWR.com. So here I have the protein, the Cravings protein from Clout. This one is the salted caramel. This is some of the best protein that I've ever had in my life. It's actually delicious. I like the salted caramel and the cinnamon swirl are my two favorites. Also, their pre-workouts are amazing. So they have the Karma Nootropic pre-workout. It's a nootropic and focused pre-workout. It's a lower stimulant formula, zero itch formula. It has 4 trademark ingredients, and has fully dosed ingredients. So far, the Arctic Cherry is probably my favorite of the Karma pre-workout. Also, try the Nero Aminos from them. And also the High Stimulant Mamba is some of my favorite too. And I really like the Arctic Cherry of that one. So go to cloutpower.com and use code Nicky to save 15%. KLOUTPWR.com. Code Nicky to save 15%. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you guys being here. We got just 3 big freaking powerlifting, bodybuilding, coaching dudes in here. So how's everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Doing awesome. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. I appreciate this. So
We're all matching.
yeah, I think so. Sam's been here. Yeah, you guys all got a jersey on. You got the FX stuff here. That's pretty dope. Let's see. So basically, Sam, you've been on here like 3 times now.
3rd time, technically.
Technically, like the 4th time.
Second time officially. 3rd time.
Total, yeah, because we lost the podcast. This is like Mark's like 5th time, but only like one of them got filmed or something. But
that sounds about right.
So anyway, you guys have been, at least Sam and Mark, you guys have both been coaching for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's talk a little bit about that.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
Well, you were kind of saying like after once you become a coach, and you're also still lifting, on your own. You're trying to stay in the game, and like as a good coach, you're always wanting to still be out there like challenging yourself and leading by example. Correct?
Yes. Yeah. I'm competing in April, and I just had 3 of my athletes compete 2 weekends ago.
Hell yeah.
So.
And I think last time you were here, you told me that it is challenging when you're like competing yourself.
Yeah.
And there's a point where you got to be like, hey guys, I've got you this far, but I got to focus on me right now because I'm at a meet.
No.
No,
they come first always.
You're still putting them first always.
Well, I also don't compete like when they do. I'm definitely not.
Okay, so you're there as a coach.
Yeah, I'm not competing when they are. Myself, I wouldn't be able to handle it.
That's too
either
much.
I would not be able to compete up to the standard that I want to, or they would suffer, and they're expecting a certain service and a certain amount out of me, so I'm not going to sacrifice.
I think that was actually a different coach that told me that.
Yeah.
I think I got you guys confused.
Yeah, no, I will never. I can say I will probably never do the same meet as one of my athletes unless I know for sure that they can handle themselves. But
right, maybe if there's somebody that's been doing it a long time.
Right. Yeah. But all of my guys are still kind of novices. They all got 2 meets under their belts, 2 or 1 meet under their belt now. But,
right.
Yeah,
So how many people you coaching right now?
Right now I got 6 powerlifters. I got about a dozen other like wellness and general fitness people. But right now I got 6 lifters. I got a nice little team building up here.
Got some new equipment in the gym I saw.
Yeah, we just picked up a monolift that hasn't been used yet, but that was, a great investment.
Hell yeah. And then Carlo, this is your first time here, man, so appreciate you being here.
Appreciate you having me.
Why don't you tell people a little bit about yourself? You are into bodybuilding.
Sexy boy.
I am.
You're sexy boy on Instagram. Yeah, how'd you come up with that, dude?
Sec boy.
That's what I thought it was.
I'm sexy. I'm gonna say it on Instagram.
I was like, what the hell is sick boy?
Sec boy, what is that?
Sexy.
Yep. We didn't get that. We're too old.
It takes some people a little while to.
Yeah.
It took me a full year to figure it out.
I think it took me 2.
So yeah, man, how did you get into bodybuilding? What was just a passion of yours?
Yeah, actually I started lifting when I was about 20, 21.
Okay,
And
nice.
I did it really just to be in shape because in high school I played baseball.
Yep.
Also played football. I always liked being in shape and just being active.
Feels
And
good.
then after that I just saw the gym, not saw the gym, but found the gym, decided to sign up and saw some results and just got addicted.
Hell
And
yeah.
after that, how I got into competing is just being surrounded by people that do compete as well, and it was always motivating, And then also going to the shows like Emerald Cup and Ironman that helped motivate me to actually want to compete as well.
Right, so you go to a show and you see it in person, it's like a game changer, right? You get to feel it, what it's like, and then if you're around guys like this, then it kind of like makes you feel like, I get what you mean, like when you're around other people doing it, opens you up to the possibility that you could do it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Because like back in the day when I think of bodybuilding, I think of just the guys in Olympia, And I'm like, man, I'll never be big enough to compete with those guys.
You never know.
Yeah, there's some big motherfuckers.
You never know, dude. The 212 guys just fucking took 1 and 2 at the Open,
sure.
so
That's true, for
you
sure.
never know.
Yeah, man. So you guys are all like, what? So yeah. Like, let's talk about this the Olympia this year.
Probably
Like,
the most interesting one that's happened in the last 5 or 6 years.
And then what makes it so much more interesting, do you think?
It's been very predictable.
Okay.
The last
Up until now.
yes.
Until now. It was
So
surprising.
it was pretty, it was the Phil show for the last 7 years. And then Sean won it in, I think, 2018. And then that was the big upset. And then Sean got blacklisted. We won't get into that, but Sean got blacklisted from the Olympia, wasn't competing. So the title was open for the first time in forever. There was no reigning champ, and Phil wasn't competing. So it was open for anybody. And then Brandon Curry, who made a complete 180 of a career, he literally was on an old soda, went from being on old soda commercials to being the Mr. Olympia.
Nice.
Like, what kind of soda commercials?
I don't remember. I remember what they did during
That's
the commercial.
wild.
He was Brandon Curry's a big giant black dude, and he had a blonde flat top, and he was
Like Pepsi commercials? and
something
shit?
like that. And they were throwing like canisters of shit loading into the truck, and Brandon Curry was like, I only do so and so. So I was like, oh.
Yeah.
And then he became Mr. Olympia and made a complete career change. But then,
And what age?
Brandon's got to be mid to late 30s at
No
least.
shit. That's pretty cool.
He's
dude.
been hanging around for a while. But then he got dethroned, and Ramy finally showed up. Big Ramy, who's been the talk of the town since like 2013 when he first showed up.
Yep.
Bigger than everybody, but could never put it together. He finally put it together.
Yeah.
But something pretty historical happened at the Olympia that just happened. We had 2 guys who are former 212 bodybuilders. So there's open bodybuilding and there's 212 for the smaller guys. And they were 1 and 2. 2 guys that used to be in the 212. It was Derek Lunsford's first Olympia ever, and he took second.
Used to be a middleweight too.
Yeah, Hadi Chupin.
So that's kind of what you're talking about.
Well, not just that. That wasn't the only historical thing that happened. It was the first time that a reigning Mr. Olympia has been outside the top 3 ever in the history of.
Yeah, what he means is usually when the current Olympia champions usually taken, they're usually in the top 2 or 3. They're never going to go down to 5th place.
If they're dethroned, they're 2nd place. I feel like in my
So that happened this year?
he was 5th.
5th.
So that many more new people that were better than
the
him?
reigning champ.
Yep.
Yeah, the guys who took top 3 this year had never. Hadi was the only one that had been in the top 3 before that.
So aren't they like changing the rules now or something?
They're definitely going for a little bit different of a look now. They're definitely prioritizing conditioning. Like if you're not on, then if you're not dry and you aren't conditioned, you're not winning.
Yeah.
And Ramy was a little flat this year. And he had some weird shit going on with his legs and his glutes that we still don't really know about. But Hadi, Lunsford, and Nick Walker, who were the top 3, were bone dry, peeled, and those are the guys that took through. And that was Nick Walker. Nick Walker's still a rookie.
Yeah.
That was his first Olympia, and then this was also Derek Lunsford's first Olympia and first year in the Open. So it's very obvious there was such a dramatic shift because the 4th and 5th guy were both former Mr. Olympias. Brandon Curry was 4th,
That's
and
crazy.
Big Ramy was 5th. And Ramy was a 2-peat. He won 2 years in a row, and to go from winning the Olympia to 5th,
Number 5, that's weird.
something's changing.
Yeah.
Something's different.
Yeah, so I think what they're doing is, which is it kind of favors us little guys a little bit. So they're going back to the the '90s look where it's symmetry and aesthetics.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, obviously not classic, but
You still need to be big.
You still need to be big in condition.
You still need to be big. Like if you're not 220 plus, you're not winning.
Right.
But like it's not the big. It's not the Ronnie Coleman that's winning anymore. It's not the guy that's
So you
coming.
think this is probably a good change?
This is amazing.
More about aesthetics and
Yes.
stuff than...
It's gonna be more pleasing.
Well, because that was kind of like what the change was like, where you'd see more guys doing like vacuums and stuff, trying to have smaller waists, and then for a while, didn't it get more where you had like the big like ab guts were getting more popular and like.
Well, Lunsford can do a vacuum. The guy
Yeah.
who took 2nd is.
So you're saying it might be going back towards more of that classic.
Well, they have that category now.
Oh,
Classic
okay.
bodybuilding is its own category.
Right. Okay.
But they are definitely changing. Like they definitely want people who are more similar. They're not going for a mass monster.
it's not just about looking like a big giant freak.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like don't get me wrong. A freak will still. If a
Yeah.
freak comes in peeled,
They ain't losing.
he's gonna win.
Yes. Okay.
That's why Ramy won 2 years in a row because
Right.
he was the biggest guy on stage and he was shredded.
Yeah, but we
So-
also thought it was going to be questionable too because
Yes.
he's never been really that consistent. So
No, I was shocked that he won 2 years in a row.
yeah, so
I was not surprised he won once. I was very surprised he won twice.
Okay. Okay.
But I was very happy to see Hadi Chupin win. He's been at that grindstone forever. Came up from the 212 and just showed out. I mean, I thought the last 2-3 years he's been robbed. He should have gotten a higher placing. And they gave it to him this year, and he was on fucking Hammy Rambod.
Yep, he's back on the
he's
map.
got-
and for a few
he's two-
years, he was kind of off the grid.
Well,
to be
he's
honest.
had so many Mr. Olympias under his belt now. Hammy Rambod was Hadi's coach,
Yeah.
but Hammy Rambod was also Phil Heath's coach,
And
Jay Cutler's coach. He coached C-Bum this year,
and Jeremy.
and Jeremy. Yeah. So
And so like a bunch of those names are ones I even know as just like a layman. that doesn't follow.
he's this generation's Mr. Olympia coach. Like he is like you put right. Yeah, he's this generation's Phil Jackson.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like
he learned a lot of stuff from Chad Nichols.
Yeah.
Ronnie Coleman and Flex. A lot of the Olympians coaches
Right.
before, so the same coaching tree.
Well, yeah, because he had to learn all that kind of shit because Jay was his guy.
Yeah.
And Jay came up during that era. I don't think he was Jay's coach originally, but I know he was Jay's coach when Jay came back and won. Because Jay lost. Jay won 2006 and 7, lost 8, came back and won 9 and 10.
Yeah.
And 9 is when he did the famous quad stomp.
And what was the famous quad stomp?
Oh, I gotta pull up the picture for. I gotta show you the picture.
He would like stomp his heel.
Yeah.
It wasn't. It's not a pose. He
Yeah.
just did it.
Yeah, and then him and Ronnie would like almost like growl to the crowd. They were like doing key eyes like in cry. They were like, "Hi-oh!" type of thing. I mean, I was like, whoa! I've never seen this before. So.
Oh yeah.
He just flexed his leg and he slammed his heel down.
Dude,
and he went,
I forgot how big.
And
that
he just
dude
went,
is
look
just
at
showed me
that. And he just said, look at that. And
Pointed at it.
how do you dispute that?
Because that's insane. Because like I'm like huge fan of C-Bum, obviously, who just won again.
Everybody.
But like, and C-Bum looks amazing, but like he doesn't look like that.
He's not a freak.
He's not like he looks like aesthetic as possible.
I'm really interested to see what Breon does because Breon is moving to the 212. And Breon I think he was the first classic Mr. Olympia.
Second. The first one was Danny Hester. And
Okay.
then, if you remember, what's funny is my old coach, R.I.P. Matt Porter, he actually competed against Brian.
Yeah.
Lost in the overall at the LA Championship.
Wow.
He was a light heavyweight bodybuilder.
Yeah.
That was 3 years before Classic came out.
But Breon was the Mr. Olympia that C-Bum dethroned.
Yep.
And so they've been back and forth for a lot of years, and every year Breon's just been slipping place by place by place. So he's going up now. And so this is the first time we're seeing a classic physique Mr. Olympia go to the next one up. And I'm interested because he's going to lose a lot of his aesthetic and classic look.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see how much different he looks.
For sure.
Because we've only ever seen the small 212 guy go to the open.
Right.
We've never seen the smaller, they're not necessarily always smaller, but the smaller by weight standard. That was, I hit
Don't
the
worry,
screen.
you just hit it.
I hit the screen.
Long.
We've never seen that guy go up.
Yeah.
So we're gonna see that now.
Do you think Sean Clarita is going to go up to Open ever?
No.
He did.
I mean, to compete in Olympia, not
No.
just
No.
I'm just wondering if what you think about that. So.
No.
I think it was like a small Ronnie Coleman.
Flex Wheeler. Kind of
No.
A little bit both.
Sean Clarita is gonna do what Flex is doing, or Flex did.
Flex
Lewis did.
Yeah.
He's gonna reign.
Yeah.
He might go up when he gets tired.
Yeah.
But like Flex also said he was going to go up, and he hasn't competed in 3 years. Granted, he's had some stuff go on in his life. But yeah, I mean, a lot of the 212 guys say they're going to go up, and then they never do.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Well, I mean,
but
the little guys, our game is not mass.
but now
So,
look at Lunsford. Lunsford proved that's wrong.
yeah.
Lunsford just about as big as any of them out there. So.
Yeah.
What do you think is like the best case, like somebody that was a giant bodybuilder and then after their prime, like Ronnie Coleman, like what he's doing okay. Dorian's great. Right?
Dorian and Jay.
Dorian Yates is probably one of the best.
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, like, you're still talking about mass monsters and stuff, but like I feel like Mark, when you retire, you're still gonna have a good quality of life because you never got like. Like those, like when some of those dudes, like the amount of size.
You didn't go beyond what you should be.
I mean, we love bodybuilding. That's what we're doing, and I'm not trying to like shed a negative light on, but there are certain realities of the sport, and it's like
it's not healthy to walk around at 280 pounds. I am 200. I'm 285, and a lot of people ask me like, "Hey, what are you gonna do when you're done powerlifting? You're gonna stay that big?" Fuck no, I'm not.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose 50 pounds. You think this is comfortable? It's not.
No, and the thing is
It's
too,
not
like Sam,
healthy.
I saw your before too, dude. So like you can get back down to like a basically normal body size because I saw what you looked like before powerlifting. So I think like you could probably be super healthy afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But no, yeah, Jay Cutler, Dorian Yates. Those are probably the two like big dudes. Big.
Jay Cutler still looks good, right?
Yeah, Jay Cutler still
Healthy.
trains.
Healthy.
Yeah, he still trains and he's very healthy. He's questionable to be able to still be able to come back.
What about like Mike O'Hearn? Isn't that dude?
Fuck, don't.
Who is it? Is he the one that lifts with like Billy Gunn?
Michael Trent.
Michael Trent. Is he the one that lifts with Billy Gunn from WWE?
I'm not sure. Not sure.
I mean, you know that dude. Like
I
he's.
am blocked by Michael Hearn.
Oh, he blocked you on Instagram.
I am not.
Bro, you guys aren't
Tell us
friends.
about that.
Yeah.
Michael Hearn. No.
What'd you do?
Maybe he's listening. Dude.
Sam? What did
No,
you do?
We gotta talk shit, dude.
I
So
just
this
made-
podcast blows
I just
up.
made a comment. All I did was make a comment on one of his posts that he obviously didn't agree with
Oh, I
very
think you might
much,
have told me this.
and then he blocked me.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Dang.
So he's got some thin skin.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Mike O'Hearn is bigger than a lot of pro bodybuilders
He's huge.
that
Bigger than me?
are very open about what they take. Mike O'Hearn is over 50.
So I was gonna say he still looks really good for his age, but maybe he hasn't quite hit that period yet.
No,
Where the bad
he
stuff
is,
starts
No,
happening.
he is definitely. There's a weird era. Okay, there's a weird era of bodybuilding and fitness, whereas like, well, from basically Arnold's era, the golden era, all the way up to about Ronnie's era.
Yep.
They were very open about what they did and what they took.
Right.
And then there was a big like, no, this is not okay.
What
So-
time was that? Where like
That
it
was,
started-
like,
was that around the same time when WWE started having trouble
About
with it?
2008.
So like after George Bush like outlawed
Yeah.
steroids.
To about
and
two,
shit?
yeah. So basically, right around
At the same time, like he
Yes.
started shutting down pro
About
home runs,
2007,
baseball, the big
2008,
baseball scandal.
yeah. Around that time, and so then it was the popular thing to be I'm natty,
And pretend you're natty while you're taking like copious
and there's a
amounts of
lot of
Mexican
people
supplements.
who have dug themselves so far into this hole that there's no way out now.
Well, so it's kind of like how Liver King dug himself into that
Yeah.
corner of like
It's-
I'm natty.
If it's one thing to not go out and like say it, like if people,
Well, that's like The Rock.
it's one thing to
You
dodge.
don't put yourself in a
Right.
situation.
It's one thing to just dodge the question. It's another thing to be like, no, I'm not.
Right, to make a statement where
So,
you're blatantly
so
lying.
Mike O'Hearn is one of those guys
He's
who
from
dug
that
that
area.
hole so deep
Okay.
that there's no way you can get out of it now. You either got to be all in on that, no, I'm not. You just can't be like, okay, no, yeah, I do, and be okay. You either aren't or
Well,
you
it's
are.
like more the dudes that keep it more vague, where it's like
Yeah.
only somebody like us would look at him and be like, okay, duh.
Because there's that
But-
whole era of like Ulysses and Simeon Panda, Dana Lynn Bailey. A lot of those, I don't know how many of those guys you know, but those are all like people who were like, oh yeah, we're natty and da 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 da, and they've just dug that hole so deep that there's no other option. Whereas
Yeah.
like now, since like 2016 to 18, it's kind of gone the other direction with TRT being
Yeah.
like normalized and everything like that.
Right.
People are more open about it, but they
Yeah.
still aren't all the way open because people will be like, yeah, I take TRT. Okay, you take TRT, but what else do you take on top of that?
Right. Well, and some people genuinely, I think TRT is good for them.
It's amazing. TRT is an amazing thing. It's fantastic, but it's almost like they're using it as an out. Like, oh yeah, I take stuff, but it's just this.
Well, it's like, yeah,
Where-
I'm taking stuff, but I just call it TRT.
Like
it's like,
if-
did you get that from a doc? Well, no.
Like if you
Yeah.
got somebody like Jay Cutler that's like, yeah, I'm on TRT.
No, you're not, bro. Come
Yeah,
on.
I'm sure you're taking TRT, but what else?
Well, I even think that, like, when Joe Rogan says he's on TRT, I'm like,
Well, yes, yeah, but Joe Rogan's extremely open
he's
about
pretty
everything
open.
that
He's
done.
like, I'm on peptides,
He's
I'm
got-
on GH, and I'm on
Yeah,
TRT.
He's got no reason to lie.
And that's kind of why he was like, no, I'm not going to have Liver King on.
Yeah.
Because that, I don't know.
Liver King's begging to get on his podcast.
I know.
He's trying to get on.
But he also says he's going to go natty, and I don't like that because now I feel like you're lying again after you got caught lying.
Yeah, I just stay on.
Just stop. Yeah,
Fuck
just
it.
stay on. Dude.
Just stay on.
You know you can't maintain that physique without
Well,
it.
he's just trying to backpedal. He's just trying to save his brand.
Yeah.
It's like let me show you how much of this physique I can hold on to.
Right. Well, maybe he can somewhat.
But how's he gonna prove it?
Because that was the bad part. Like, the stuff he's promoting wasn't necessarily bad.
No.
It's just to give him the false idea that you're going to look like him.
This guy got everybody to believe that you could look as big as he does, which he doesn't look that great, but he was big. He got everybody to believe that you could get as big as he is by eating fucking balls, by eating liver and basking your balls in your asshole.
The 7 tenets, brother.
I'm not gonna lie. I didn't even really know much about the Liver King until that
Huck
came
Finn.
out. So.
Mark's
Tom Finn. Huck Finn is the real Liver King.
Mark's like, I'm not gonna lie. I went out and bought some testicles right away.
I bought gizzards. Gizzards and
no, you're talking about Huck Finn Barbell?
Yes,
that guy's the real.
That's the real Liver King because real men don't eat balls. They eat pussy.
Yeah, he's got those. His shirts are great, dude.
Yes, I'm gonna get a chance to hang out with all those guys.
He's one of my favorite Instagram accounts.
Yes,
like he does. Even like his like blatant like patriotism shit he does like
he's awesome.
He's
I was actually just listening to his podcast on my way over here.
He's like everything we need in this country right now.
Yeah, I'm gonna get to hang out with all those guys down at the Pioneer Open. Him, Tom Callis, and Dan Bell.
It's kind of like just lighten up a little bit because he's just funny, dude.
Yeah,
he's doing a lot of pro wrestling gimmick shit.
Oh yeah,
like he'll do the Stone Cold with the beer cans.
He got invited to a triout.
He should, dude.
What happened was he got invited to a tryout 2 weeks prior. He tore his pec.
Oh, I saw that.
And
he was doing heavy bench.
He rehabbed himself back. He got in touch with them and was like, "Hey, I'm healthy again. They never got back to him."
If they were smart, they'd start working with him now because that dude has a huge.
They don't need to. They got people like Rick Boogs.
That's true.
They got Boogs.
They got Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny.
Yeah. Well, I just meant he's good crossover. Like he does have a big audience, but I suppose they don't really need it.
No.
It'd probably be more beneficial for him, honestly. Yeah.
No, it would be. Right, they don't. But he's doing awesome.
But he's so funny, dude.
Oh, he's hilarious.
Just like the shit he does, like he'll be on like a boat, like deadlifting, drinking at the same time, being pulled behind a boat, like.
It's just doing shit you've never seen before. That's all it is.
I know. He does some crazy shit.
Huh?
Like he'll do a lot of like lifts, like heavy deadlift on a bunch of Legos, barefoot, shit like that.
Yeah.
Just like sprinkle a bunch of Legos.
It works.
Yeah.
It works.
Well, that's like pro wrestling shit.
Well, he's trying to do something really cool. He's torn both of his pecs, so he's blown both of his pecs out, and you shouldn't still be able to bench press after that, but he is.
And he can bench a lot.
And he's trying to bench 500 pounds on the platform again, one more time with 2 reattached pecs. Yeah. And that's incredible. That's one of the craziest things I've ever heard.
Yeah, I think it's something about his like personality too that just like get people. Yeah, they just connect with the dude because he's just like out to have fun.
Blue collar.
Yeah. He's blue collar. Let's have
he works in a prison. He's a prison guard.
He looks like that.
Yeah, he works in a prison. He's a prison guard.
You guys have never seen him?
Uh-uh.
Oh, dude.
Tom Finn.
You gotta follow.
We need to get out more.
Huck Finn.
He's so goddamn funny. Like he sells all kinds of funny T-shirts.
Oh yeah. We don't need to quote those.
Well, I mean,
those
are
pretty bad, dude. They're pretty
Some
bad.
of them were pretty bad.
They're pretty bad. Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, he's a good follow on Instagram though.
Yes.
So how's your transition from having a wrestling mentality and having a goal of wrestling to fitness and bodybuilding? How's that?
I don't know, dude. It's hard sometimes. Like today, I was doing a bunch of box jumps, and I just felt like I wanted to wrestle again.
Right, because you're doing something athletic instead.
Because I'm like, I wonder if I could still do these.
Instead of doing like.
I saw him doing that shit, and I was like,
well, they had a bunch
be
of.
Careful,
there was like a bunch of.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, so it is hard. So like, there was a bunch of other like young dudes. Like I think they were doing like football training. They're in there with their coach at Body Shop, and they set up all the shit, and I look at them like.
Man, I still do that. I do that shit all the time.
He was looking at me.
So I started jumping, and Mark's just like, "Bro, you gotta show."
I do that. I train a lot of that kind of stuff in the off season. Like to give me like something because when I can't focus on like bench squat and deadlift, I do something. So I train this last off season. I trained my long jump.
Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna
jump too.
If you keep doing it though, you'll be able to do it.
But two reasons. First off, it's gonna make me more explosive. Yeah. More explosive is going to make me a better lifter. Second off, it is so fucking funny to watch somebody my size do a long jump.
You got a video?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Hey, does that cause like a lot of earthquakes in your body when you do that?
it's not fun. If I don't stretch, I'm fucked.
Dude, I had a friend that was like a football player. He was a big son of a bitch like you, and he was like, and he was good at box jumps, but he got really cocky and set it up way too high one time. And he just fucking like came down, like scraped his shins right against the side, fell over.
Notice how
He's like, "Can you videotape me?" I'm like, "Sure." And then he did that. I'm like, "I don't think you want this video."
Notice how I said long jump and not high jump. I don't fuck with that.
Yeah, he scraped his shins.
If I come down the wrong way, I'm fucked. That's why I don't snowboard.
Well, that would fuck up your competition and stuff.
Yeah, that
but it does make more sense for him to do it.
Yeah.
Than me, because I don't, with bodybuilding.
Like, I'll train my pull up. And see how how many pull-ups I can get to.
Yeah.
Long jump was the last thing I did. I'm trying to think what to do this time. I might train the splits next off season just for the hell of it.
You think you can get them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I've got I have no upper body mobility. I have great lower body mobility.
Sam, who do you think was the greatest big man, athletic-wise, in WWE that was like a big guy?
Brock Lesnar.
Okay, that's big. What about, I was thinking like Bam Bam Bigelow.
Big guy.
You said Bam Bam Bigelow?
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name since the...
Like Vader. You know how Vader could do a moonsault?
Vader was pretty...
I don't think...
no, right now the best, Samoa Joe and Keith Lee.
Both are awesome, dude.
Yeah, those guys are both crazy.
I just watched this match. It was like Sheamus versus this other big-ass dude. Who is that other big dude? You know, he wrestled Sheamus at the
Solo Sikoa?
The castle. It was like the Clash at the Castle.
Oh, that was Gunther.
Oh my god, two huge dudes, they beat the fuck out of each other, like for real.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a match that good and brutal in a long time.
I told Marco on the way over here, I'm like, we're not going to talk about pro wrestling. We're not going to talk about pro wrestling.
Keep Nick off wrestling.
Because me and him are just going to sit here the whole time talking about pro wrestling.
You're going to debate on who's the greatest wrestler.
Yeah, you guys start
we did that last time.
No, it's Tito Santana, okay?
No.
But they fucking chopped the shit out of each other.
The greatest wrestler of all time is Y2J.
That's your favorite of all time?
No, that's the greatest wrestler of all time.
Chris Jericho?
Yeah. He is the best.
God, he's so good.
He is the best in and out of the ring, worker.
These two are like, I have
best
no
guy who keeps you safe.
Dude, and still to this day, putting out quality shit, even in AEW, where like a lot of guys are not putting out their best shit.
He just did a death match.
Yeah.
Like, fuck. Anyways.
And he's a fucking rock star, Mark.
Yeah, Fozzy.
He sings in Fozzy.
I don't know who these
You never heard Fozzy, bro?
are.
Judas.
Judas.
Maybe I need to go to a wrestling
yes.
event with you guys.
I will take you to a wrestling event.
I used to know what a suplex was.
Let's go to a Defy. Let's go to a Defy wrestling show in Seattle, dude.
Is that even a term today, suplex?
It's
suplex.
Suplex. Wait, I got it. The Iron Sheik's camel clutch, and you guys were not born yet, by the way.
No, you're right. I was not.
So, and who else is there?
It's like Hulk Hogan.
Nikolai Volkov.
Yeah,
there you go.
I know who both of those guys are.
Jimmy Superfly Snuka.
He killed the guy.
So your parents would only
know that. Jimmy Superfly Snuka killed
He fucking killed the
guy. Yeah, Jimmy Snuka fucking murdered somebody.
Possibly. Allegedly.
No.
Probably.
Most of those guys back then probably killed a hooker or two. Like,
dude, back then, are you kidding
me?
Oh
my god.
they might have.
Oh, yeah.
They would have covered it up back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
The promoter's like, you did what? Fuck, I'll take care of it.
Yeah.
He's just like...
So, going back to bodybuilding, Carlo.
Dude, bodybuilders are probably just as crazy.
No, yes and no. I met some really fucking nuts ones before, but I would say genuinely...
There's a lot of positive ones, too.
There's some great guys.
Even C-Bone, he seems so super positive.
With two pretty positive ones right
Super
here.
Quiet.
Family man, good dude. I know, Mark, you're not crazy enough, bro. You gotta...
Who, me?
You don't got no dead hookers anywhere.
Oh, jeez.
No,
I know that.
I
know that story too because I've heard my fair share of stories through the years.
Well, Mark has outlived a couple Mr. Olympias right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, in my 22 years, I've seen so many people come and go. I've seen some of the craziest stories. I've even seen, like, people I was on stage with years ago. One of them murdered their girlfriend. I mean,
yikes.
And you would never expect some of these people. It's crazy.
Right.
But I mean, if you think about it, it's a self-serving sport. You could
That's fucked up.
you could have it in a way that you can put a positive spin on it, and be it a way to encourage other people, or you could turn it the other way and make it really bad. So
really selfish and shitty.
You know what I mean?
Oh wait, we won't bring him up.
Well, we were talking about that, right?
No. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
So
I missed it.
What do you think? If you've been in it so long, you've seen people come and go. You're doing it in a pretty healthy way, I would say.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, we were talking about like someday I might have to have your wife on and talk about like what it's like on the other side, being somebody that's dating somebody who is in this sport that ends up being kind of selfish at times because you have to put all your energy on yourself, and how she deals with that. But I was going to ask you, with the longevity, seeing people come and go, like what keeps you so dedicated to it? What do you do to stay motivated? Because I'm sure after a while, motivation is not a factor. It's just about, kind of discipline and just doing the thing.
Yeah, let's just be honest. I mean, if you go to bodybuilding shows, like, all of us do, we could get there early, stay late. The only people that do that are the ones who are truly passionate about the sport. So it's not just about, I mean, obviously we all want to flourish, we want to be the best, we want to, you've heard this cliche probably 1,000 times on this podcast or other podcasts, is, you want to be the best version of yourself, right? And what keeps the fire going is, you never forget where you started. So the reason why I got into this originally was the performance aspect. It wasn't really the physique thing. So, and then it kind of grew into it. So, my background that, everybody knows here, I have a dancing background. And I was like, whoa, I could actually use that platform now. I didn't realize you can actually go outside of the box and incorporate some of that stuff.
Right.
Within reason, of course. But that's how it started. But there is, especially being a coach, the greatest thing, now I don't get the same thing when you get somebody who's done a meet, you're basically taking somebody through that's never done what you've done. From zero to a meet or a stage, you can't relive that again. And the only way you can relive it is through people,
beautiful.
Like Carlo, like Jared, like Bliss, like
so that reignites your passion for it, watching somebody else experience.
Yeah, because it reminds me of where I started.
Yeah.
So that's why
100%.
Here and there, I mean, I have my moments, I'm sure Sam has our moments, we get a little sense of entitlement too, because we've been through the fire, we've walked through everything, we've gone through the good things and the bad things in the industry or whatever, but what we choose as coaches and as longtime athletes and advocates for for our niches is we look for the good things. So I mean, obviously we all know there's negative parts of it, because I mean we have a bunch of narcissists in one room, a bunch of selfish people, but you can use it in a way that's let's be honest, you have a choice. You're either going to be selfish about it, or you're gonna use it as a way of empowering other people. So I choose, and that's that's an important thing. I especially when people come in the sport, because you can burn yourself out really, really fast if you don't know why you're in this industry. It's not just about, I mean, we want to win. It's not just about that. Because if I'm going up against Sam, for example, he's, how much do you weigh?
285.
He's 285, and he's dialed in.
He looks big as fuck, because
If
he's
he's
like in the forefront of this footage.
Yeah.
You just look fucking huge, dude.
Yeah. If he's dialed in, and I'm dialed in,
Sorry, Carlo.
it's still gonna be hard to beat him. Each one of us have different genes. So if he chose to bodybuild again, he
could do it. Yeah,
he could do it, and especially with all the
I
talent
think
out
you
there.
could.
I know I could. I don't fucking want to.
So
No way in hell. Never again.
It's not as fun, yeah.
No.
yeah, but what keeps the fire going constantly is you just got to remember why you're doing this.
But then also through helping other people, you're saying it kind of you get something back out of that.
Yep, and then obviously like, I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if you see the same thing. I mean, you're coaching a little bit now too, Carlo, and Sam is. We get a little lazy when we're coaching other people too. For ourselves, we stop thinking about ourselves.
Oh yeah.
And we're like, no, I don't need.
I barely I eat about 5,000 calories a day right now. I ate maybe 1,500 while I was coaching my 3 people. Like I just didn't think.
So
about
how
it.
do you balance that when you're coaching people to make sure you
don't?
It's just it gets away from you.
Like
so
you try the best.
Organized chaos.
You try the best you
can.
can.
It's like being a parent.
You have a plan and you try the best you can. That's why my wife and Lorraine does a good job about it too. For him is they will remind us.
Yeah.
Hey, you know.
Hey, you need to sit down.
It's they went. It's over. You've got time. Go eat something.
Right, because your energy's getting all spread around. Yeah.
Oh, I was dead after the weekend. I was
dead.
What is? It's almost like you're a source for so many people. That means you have to give energy to all these different people.
Well, and I can't help but like I know Mark has the same problem. So does Carlo. Like I can't help but help other people other than my people too. Like I won't prioritize somebody I don't know over my own athletes, but I like if I see somebody who doesn't know what the hell they're doing in the warm-up room.
If some kid came up to you and asked
I'm
for
gonna
help,
I'm gonna help them. Or if Mark sees somebody hitting a front double in the back and something looks a little off, he's gonna go over and be like, "Hey, drop this down, pop this up. Look, there it is."
Right. Yeah, there was a client that brought up some. I'll know you're competing, at the same time as me and Carlo, and I'm like, I just want to make sure, and you're in prep now. I'm like, what are you getting at? I'm like, well, don't you have to prioritize yourself? And I'm like, I have 20 athletes doing the show. There's no way I can prioritize myself. So I have to do it in a way I can balance.
That's what I'm for.
That's where
Sam comes
and then,
in.
You see, the other part too is, it's like my wife and Sam, and then when Carlo's not competing, these guys are my eyes and ears. And they're my eyes and ears that will give their honest, blunt opinions. They will tell you look like shit, or you look good or not, or they'll say, hey, I don't think we should do this, we should do that. So I get input from the second and third pairs of eyes for the other athletes, and because of that, I wouldn't be able to still compete and coach at the same time. So
it's a community effort.
Yeah. Well, Emerald Cup's the biggest time of year for any team in Washington State.
Yep.
Period.
Yep.
We have 13.
Close to 20 now, doing the show.
But that's just people, right?
That's people.
So that's not including all the extra classes those people might be doing.
Entries. So some people
like a bikini girl, for instance, could do true novice, and open.
Yeah.
That one person could be in 3 classes. Okay. So now take that one person in 3 classes. Now imagine if all 20 of those people decide to do that. You got to manage essentially 60 bodies.
Right. And
that's crazy.
Then you have to monitor. I mean, you're going to get the same thing too. You're going to find out really quick. You're going to be micromanaged probably every.
I only have 2 clients so far. So.
No, I meant like when.
You're
So he's going to be checking on you every single hour.
Yep.
Every single. I mean, you just ask Carlo. It's like, hey, how you look? He's like, hey, you're not answering, dude.
And that's going to be like what, the whole week before the show, basically.
When it comes down to the nitty gritty, last 1 or 2 weeks when the body's really sensitive, and
that's when it gets the hardest.
It gets the hardest because you could either have somebody too conditioned. There is a such thing. I mean, you could have a skeleton on stage if you're not careful.
Right.
So, or you could overfeed somebody, give somebody too much peanut butter, or they decided to put too much peanut butter themselves because they think they're flat without checking.
I feel like that's when people start getting irrational and start justifying things, and they'll make bad food decisions.
Well, you're also, you're depleted. You've done a cut, a pretty aggressive cut, so you kind of know what the bodybuilder depletion is like.
Right.
You're not quite there. But
when I say people, I'm saying I know how my brain tries to trick me.
So now imagine
tries to make me think this is okay to do this when it's not.
So imagine that. But you're more depleted than that,
right?
And you're handling the stress of the show.
Yeah. You're handling other people.
And you're trying to podcast. And I'm trying,
let me get on my. Jordan said I should have rice.
I can't wait till I try to
butter,
podcast the week of the
and
show.
maybe some whiskey.
You're gonna come in here and Nick's eating a raw potato in front of us.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, dude. That sounds good, man. Raw potato.
Yeah, I was eating some Reese's on the way over here.
Which ones?
Reese's Sticks.
Ooh.
I always see him eating that, so he obviously likes peanut butter. So.
Yeah.
Hey man, I eat a lot cleaner than everybody thinks. I'm just fat.
So
The brutal honesty, I love it.
Carlo, what's the experience? I mean, you transitioned pretty quickly. From just being an athlete to now, you see what goes on backstage and what Sam and I have to go through. Has it changed your perspective about bodybuilding, or does it make you appreciate what we have to go through with the sport a little bit more?
Yeah, it helps me appreciate what you go through because you said how many years have you been coaching?
I've been coaching 9, but my own squad or team is about 6 years. It's going to be our 7th year anniversary here for GK in June 2023. So
so you've been doing this for 6 years, again, all by yourself. And first time you had me help you, it was exhausting.
Finally letting people fucking help him. How many goddamn years have I been fucking yelling at you and barking at you? Mark, let me help. Mark, let me help.
There's a storyline behind that.
Mark,
because,
why is that hard for you to let other people help you, dude?
Because, when you're a perfectionist, I'm sure Sam is, and, Carlo, anybody that's an elite athlete at what they do, you want everything done correctly. Mm-hmm. And the thing is,
very hard to trust.
You have to learn to trust and delegate, and you have to, because you can't, if you don't duplicate yourself, you're literally putting a lid on your own business.
It's somebody's dream on the line.
Yep.
Somebody's
and you put a lot of pressure. If they're representing you want them to do
somebody's half a year journey, dream, all this money, work, effort, time that they put in, and you know that the best hands are your own. Mm-hmm. It's very hard to go like, okay, Sam, I gotta go step on stage, make sure these 5 bikini girls are ready to go, dialed in. So like I get it, but that's why I hounded him for so many years. It's like, bro, there's a certain point. There's a certain point where you're not going to be able to handle it, and you're either going to start to lose it here, or they're going to suffer.
Yeah, and the thing about that too is even it was my wife who brought it up to me. He's like, you know how many classes you've missed now of people that were on stage? I'm like, I did. Because if you guys don't know how the structure of how the Emerald Cup was before, 4 floors separate the pump-up room and the downstairs. Okay. They're not doing that anymore, which is good, because it's a higher variance, to be honest with you, to miss your classes. I appreciate obviously the size of the show. There's nothing like doing a show that's big and it's very competitive.
It's so fun.
But running up and down the stairs and doing it all by myself, 4 floors. So I have the elevator and have the escalator.
And you're competing in the show as well?
They didn't have pro shows until this last year, so
sometimes
I wouldn't have been able to do what I did the last year or 2 or this next coming year. I wouldn't be able to do double duty if I didn't have 3 or 4 other pairs of eyes. And the thing about that, what's cool about having those second, third pairs of eyes, they can see stuff that I don't see. And the important thing about that is I have to have a good enough, healthy enough ego to take, to be able to hear from Sam, Lorraine, and Carlo and say, hey, I don't think we should do this. I just don't see his body responding or her body responding the way they are. They look stressed out or whatever it is. Or, because the last 2 or 3 weeks, sometimes we do simulations with different clients. And all these guys are pretty well informed on what the clients are already doing, what works for them, what doesn't work for them. It always makes it different, though, if somebody's incredibly conditioned, though. You can do anything you want with that athlete. However, if they're the other direction, you cannot do that.
So that means one little variable will screw up everything.
You can give them an extra 2 ounces of water on accident and they blow the fuck up.
Yep.
and they wash out.
Oh, that's so crazy.
2 ounces of water.
2 ounces of water.
An extra
or being stressed out.
Or 1 extra tablespoon of salt.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep.
And so how do you know that stuff?
Trial and error, man.
That's
Trial and error.
That's why me and Mark get so on it about the coach hopping topic. And
so let's talk about coach hopping.
So in my mind, if you only stay with a coach for one show, one meet, etc., you're not doing yourself any justice, and you're not doing that coach any justice. You're not giving, because you don't know how somebody works until you take them through what you think is going to work. Mm-hmm. So, like, a really good example is my wife. Mark coaches my wife. He didn't really figure it out. We didn't really figure it out until the last 2 shows what really, really works. Mm-hmm. She's the only one that can eat a fucking ribeye the night before a show, and she's fine. But if she eats 10 grams of carbs, she washes out.
Middle finger, Chelsea.
But we didn't figure that out, and it took.
So like one time's not enough for a coach to understand.
No.
Just like you're your best, kind of like you know your body when you're an athlete. So like
sometimes you don't know either if you haven't ventured out, maybe tried other methods too.
Right.
Like I would say
the coach is gonna help you figure it out.
Yeah. So I could have jumped right away. Because back in 2000, 2001, I hired Turk Fickling, legendary bodybuilder. It took us 7 shows to get me perfect.
All with the same coach.
Yeah, all with the same coach. Hey, who wouldn't like red meat in their diet for their first 6 shows? I'm like, man, this is not even a diet. I'm like doing 20,000 milligrams of sodium.
And then you take 12.
I'm
and
eating
you're like, fuck.
chicken thighs. What's funny is I wasn't taking 12 or any of that stuff. I was hovering around the top 5. I was hovering, and every time I would hear it, I would hear, well, you're not tight enough. I'm like, but I think what Turk was concerned about was me being full enough. So we were eating steaks, we were eating chicken thighs, a lot. I'm like, man, this is heaven. This ain't no diet. Everybody's asking me what I'm doing. You're able to stay that lean, quote unquote lean, and still, and still be able to eat that food. But it's when, honestly, towards down the line towards 2011, 2012, 2013, when we started figuring out half my food was lower fat sources, maybe like chicken or that disgusting tilapia or cod, but it works. And that's when I started dominating.
You had to get the red meat out, is what you're saying.
Yeah,
you had to figure that out.
Yeah, it's amazing. It tastes amazing, but it wasn't
working.
People were beating me that shouldn't have been beating me.
Right.
And
it was just that one little thing that you had to tweak.
Because you can generalize how things are supposed to work. Like bikini girl, you're trying to get her water retention down.
Yep.
You're trying to get her drier. So you cut her carbs. Mm-hmm. That's the typical general approach. Mm-hmm. Me and Bark both have encountered people that you can throw them 600 grams of carbs and they are still lean as fuck. But you don't know that. You try the general approach that you're like, okay, for 90% of people this works.
Yeah.
And okay, they get show ready, but they're not quite right. So then you're like, okay, let's try a little bit of approach because I know this kind of works for a little bit different people. And then it nails, and you're like, oh shit, you wouldn't have found that out if you would have just gone to another coach, because more than likely that other coach that you jump to is going to try the same thing, because we all kind of know how the general idea of this is supposed to work.
Yes, and the time, sometimes too, it's the connection. I mean, if you don't vibe well, obviously it's not going to work.
And if you get if you are disserviced by the coach, I 100% get it.
Yeah, that's not what you're talking. So is there situations where you feel like people get, maybe they try to blame the coach when it's like actually they just didn't work hard enough, and then they'll switch the coach, or like they'll be unhappy with something?
It's a two-way street, to be honest.
It's a very weird topic, because some people can be amazing athletes and horrible coaches. Some people can be the worst last place competitor ever
A great
and be
coach.
the most amazing coach ever. But there's an expectation when you hire a coach that you're like, okay, I am going to do better because I am paying you
Yes.
to do this for you.
Yeah.
But some people over exaggerate that expectation.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
It's
where
like,
they might switch
oh.
coach because they're
Right.
blaming the coach for something that actually they just didn't do the
Yeah.
work.
Like, well, it's not even that. It's maybe it just didn't work.
Just unrealistic.
Yeah.
Expectations.
Like you might walk into a show, and like we experienced this at the Vancouver Open last year because that was the first show that kind of opened its doors up again after COVID,
Right.
and that's normally a smaller show.
Yeah.
That show was loaded.
Yeah.
There were so many people that I'm like, that person took third.
Yeah.
They walk into any other random show and they win.
Right.
So you never know.
And so you're saying it's not necessarily they didn't work hard. It's
Yeah.
just they tried the wrong variables that time, and
Or-
it didn't work out. And so it's going to take them time to figure out those variables. For
Or
the next
somebody
time.
better showed up.
Right.
Or
Okay.
somebody-
You never know who's going to show up.
Yeah.
You could have the next Mr. Olympia in your lineup.
For
Or you
sure.
could have somebody who is just like you. You never know.
Well, so it's kind of like you're saying you need to give your coach enough opportunities to fail with you.
Yes.
To figure your body out.
Like a good example is my client Connor. We did his first powerlifting meet in June,
Right.
and he totaled 11:55. Hit a couple PRs, but nothing crazy. But he hit a couple PRs. We just did a meet again, and he totaled 12:77. In 6 months, I put 112 pounds on his total.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I figured it out. Like at the meet, I peaked his deadlift wrong.
Right.
He gets blown out so fast on deadlifts. Like at the last meet, he pulled 474 was his biggest pull, and he failed 502. His biggest pull in that prep was 500. This time, his biggest pull in prep was 468, and he pulled 512. I figured out I can let this guy go off on squats and bench, and he'll recover.
Right.
If I throw too much deadlift at him, he's fucked.
Yeah.
Right.
So I just
you
need-
got it's variables with that too.
Exactly.
Like how
So-
you program it.
But I wouldn't have known
If you didn't have trial and error.
if he
So
didn't.
if he would have switched coaches right away, you guys would have never figured it out.
Never would have figured it out. And now he knows. Now I'm like, trust me, just trust me. I got this. I figured it out. And boom, he pulled the biggest deadlift of his life, and it looked easy.
Right.
And the key thing too, I think, is I always say this: the best communicators, or athletes, or it also goes on the coach too. The communication has to be solid, full transparency.
Right.
So if I don't hear from somebody for like 2 weeks, I know they're doing something they shouldn't be doing, or
And what is it you think? Like what are they doing? Like eating shit they shouldn't eat?
they're probably cheating,
Partying?
Or going off
They're
program.
probably cheating or going off program. So, even as experienced as I am, I still have people watching over me. So I'll even ask these two, what do you think? What should I do? I even have these guys cue me while I'm on stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
This guy's been competing for 22 years, and he still asks us to yell at him.
yep,
You can hear, if you watch the video
Yep.
of him last year at the Emerald Cup, you can hear me.
yep,
You can hear me on the
I
video.
feel like everybody needs that though.
yeah.
Like, no matter how skilled you are. Like,
But as a coach, you also, and this is something that I think gets overlooked a lot, you need to be willing to be questioned.
Yep.
You need to be okay with your athlete saying, why am I doing this?
yeah, and if you can't explain,
What is the reason that you have me eating 200 grams of carbs for this meal and 0 for the next? What is the reason that you're having me do this variation of the deadlift to get my deadlift? Like, why? And if you're not willing to be questioned by your athlete, and there's a sweet spot. You're like, they should not be asking you every single time, like, why this? But like, if you throw something that they've never seen before, they should be able to ask you why, and you should be okay with them questioning you, because it's not them questioning if you know what they're doing, and that's what I think a lot of people get wrapped up in. Is
They just wanna know how things work.
You think I don't know what I'm doing? No, it's
Yeah.
no, like,
no, just it helps me wrap my head around it.
right. So even like me, like,
Understand too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say like, when Jordan coaches me, like if he's doing something with me, I'm a guy that likes to know like a long term. Like I like to know like what are we doing and where am I going type of thing.
Yeah.
So like when I'm asking him like what we're doing, it's not because I'm like questioning. It's not that I'm questioning that he knows what he's doing or not. It's just like me. I don't know what it is. I like to like know like what's the goal, what's the plan, why are we doing this, and where are we going. So I want to know like okay, if I'm bulking, I'm gonna bulk for what, how long, and that's gonna lead to what, and then we're gonna like. I kind of want to know loosely what we're doing.
Right. You just want that image in your head.
Yeah.
Of what you do,
I like to visualize.
What to expect.
Yeah.
It's just reassurance.
Yeah.
So.
Like I asked my coach this year the most unforgivable question ever, which is, where do you think my numbers will be at? Which is
how can any coach
question that?
But it's the worst question. But I told him, look, I'm not asking you to give me a straight up answer like this is what we're going to hit. I just want it
ballpark.
I just want a ball like in my head. I'm a very like if you tell me I got to do this weight for this many reps when I go into the gym today, I'll fucking do it. It doesn't matter how bad
you're gonna get it done.
The war it's gonna happen.
Yeah.
I may fail every set after that, but you tell me like, hey, you like 518 for 4. Okay, got it. No fucking problem. So you tell me, I think we can hit in the range of 672, maybe. Okay, I fucking got that. No problem. So that's the kind of the question. So yeah, I get it. But bodybuilding is definitely a lot harder. Like,
well, that's kind of
how shredded do you think I'm gonna look at the end of this diet?
You gotta see, right?
How many pounds of muscle exactly do you think I'm gonna put on?
One thing the toughest question to answer is like, how do you think I'm gonna place? I'm like,
who fucking knows?
I'm like, I don't fucking know. I mean, like, so like, if I were to ask somebody that question, like if I asked Turk that question or Andre, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna show up or Andre's gonna show up. Mm-hmm. He's like, motherfucker, I'm 250 pounds. What do you think is gonna happen? Yeah. And I'm like, and you're gonna stand next to me. I'm like, yeah, you're gonna lose. He was like, well, I was like, Mark, common sense. You're 170 pounds going against 250. I would have to be incredibly off for you to beat me. So when I get that question, how do you think I'm gonna place? You know, I love the question because, in a sense, you played football.
Don't blame me.
You probably played football.
Yeah, don't blame me for asking the question.
Yeah. So, you know,
because that's
all we're trying to do is put the best possible we can on stage, and then everything else. I don't know if Nick's gonna be there. I don't know if Carlo's gonna be there. I don't know if Sam's gonna be there. So, let's say nobody shows up. You're gonna win.
You never know. You could be in a class of 20 people, and it's extremely stacked, and they've got to rotate you 10 times. Yeah. Or you could be the only fucking person in the class. Guess what? You won. Yeah. There was I went to Raw Nationals this year, and not in my weight class, but there was this guy. His name's Zebulon. The coolest fucking name ever. That's his actual name. Zebulon.
Parents named him that.
He's done at that time that was his second meet. Yeah. He's done 3 meets now. He is ranked top 10 in the world all time. Now imagine being the random guy, you're qualified for nationals, I'm going to show up and I'm going to be able to fight for the top spot. And that motherfucker shows up and totals 2265 at his second meet ever.
Jesus.
You never know who's... That guy is borderline world record holder right now. And you never know who's going to show up. Right. Ever. Like, what was it, 2 years ago, Emerald Cup 2020, the guy who won the Open just won his pro card, right?
Which one?
2020.
Oh, 2021. Stu?
Yeah, Stu.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy who won. Yeah, the guy who won that just won his pro card at nationals. And now imagine prepping the whole time. You think you're in great shape. You're like, I got the Open this year. I can win it. And that motherfucker shows up.
Yep.
You never know.
Yep.
So, like, don't blame anybody for asking how do you think I'm going to do? Because all we can do is be like, okay, let's base it off of last year, the people that show up, the average amount of people that show up in the class, and be like, you might be fighting for top 3. Mm-hmm. You might win. You might be dead last. You could have 20 ringers show up. You never know.
I just say just shoot for the top 5 first, and then we'll work our way from there.
Yep.
So, because you have to be in the first group to be even considered. So let's one step at a time. Let's get in the top 5, and let's get into the heat of the battle first, and then we'll work our way up from 5th place. So
Unless you're like Carlo and you just win. I'll just
yeah,
Just
right
good.
away.
asshole.
Fucker.
How was your experience, Carlo? Was that what it was like
Let's
for
talk
you?
about your first show.
You just kind of like a natural.
Let's talk about. I want to hear what was it like going through your first prep, and then what's it going through your prep now.
You're like the Shawn Michaels of it just comes natural to
Yeah.
you.
It's like how's it different mentally right now? Because you're obviously in a different spot in life and everything too.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, like first prep, it wasn't too bad in the beginning. Because before prepping for a show, I was trying to meal prep, but I was doing it incorrectly, you know. And then I learned a lot from Mark through prep, and he was actually able to feed me a lot more than I thought I was gonna be eating.
What were you doing incorrectly about your meal prep?
Eating too little.
Just really under eating.
Yeah, under eating,
I think he was
and
eating 2 meals.
So how did you guys all meet then, too?
This is a funny thing. I gotta tell the story. So
And then we'll get back to when
and
you
then I'll
first
get
started
I'll
working
get to
there.
him too. I'll get to him. So Carlo, I don't think I ever saw him in the gym anywhere. You know, the corridor of places I would work out at was Mill Creek, Everett, Linwood, and I never crossed paths with this guy. And one day, one of my longtime friends, I'll name him. This is the most hilarious thing I've ever. And it was like 10 o'clock at night, 9 o'clock.
yeah, like 9, 10 o'clock.
He's like, hey, his name's Doug Horton, by the way. Doug Horton. Doug is one of my really good friends. He was like the first bodybuilder I saw in person.
We love you, Doug.
He was a bantamweight at the Everett High School Ironman, which is now the Northwest Naturals, at Everett High School in 1999. He's been competing longer than me. He's like, hey, dude, I got this guy. I think he's Filipino. I was like, dude, you either know this or you don't. And he goes, hey, he has a lot of potential. I'm telling you, man, you need to talk to him. I'm gonna put you on the phone with him right now. This was like 2 minutes into your conversation.
Yeah, we talked for like 2 minutes, and he tried FaceTiming you and trying to.
Yeah.
Oh, was this the first time you met Doug?
Yeah.
First time I met him too. It was crazy.
So that was the first time you ever met Doug.
It was.
Oh, I didn't know that. I thought you knew Doug for a while. No. Okay, that's even better. What the fuck, Doug?
So he puts me on the phone, and I've never met Carlo. And I don't know if he thought that we were going to connect well because we're both Filipino. And I didn't even know what he looked like. And he's like, hey, I'm going to put you on the phone now. And I'm like, I think I was in the middle of something. I don't know. And then I literally said, love you, Doug, by the way. This is hilarious. He's like, I go, hey, Carlo, how are you doing? And I asked him, I'm like, do you really want to compete? Or, was Doug, like, hyping you up?
Was it just his idea?
Yeah, it was his idea. I just want to make
Which I can
sure,
very easily see that in
it's
your
not,
face.
he's not forcing it on you. It's like, actually, I just want to build some muscle right now. Oh, it's like, cool. He gave me some reassurance, and then I didn't know what he looked like, and he didn't even send me pictures. You would think he would send me pictures of these.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And then so
You gotta do a show.
I don't know how we connected, but we didn't reconnect, and I don't even remember meeting Carlo at the Ironman. He says I met him, and man, I hope I was nice.
You were short with me.
I was short. I was like,
You were so
he's like,
busy,
hey, I'm
dude.
Carlo, and I'm like, oh, hey, and I think I was busy
Oh,
coaching.
hi, I'm IFBB Pro.
No, I did not say that. I did not
Excuse
say-
you.
I did not
Just
say
like-
that.
Who the fuck are you supposed to be?
So we reconnected during the COVID shutdown, and it's when all the gyms were pretty much shut down.
Right.
We reconnected through our good friend Ashton and a group of a troop of like 5 or 10 Filipinos that were from the Mill Creek, LA Fitness, and these guys walk in a group of 10 like a freaking triad at the Team Fitness.
That's where I did my first powerlifting.
Yeah, Team Fitness, and we were going there for a month or two
Couple months, yeah.
until we all migrated to Body Shop, and then I guess that's what reconnected us both. And I don't know if I recognized him or I can't even remember how we interacted, but he just kept coming around, and he was, obviously, him and Ashton, were really good friends already, and then we just had this circle of like, we had 10 or 20 Filipinos.
No, I'll tell you what he did. He saw you from across, and he's like, jacked, Filipino, good hair.
Nice hair. Yeah.
He's wearing dark sport.
Bro, look at that.
He's like, I gotta get this guy. Oh, hey, I already know you. That's cool.
Yeah. So basically, I think it's a classic example of learning how to meet people where they're at, and I'm pretty sure you know where this concept goes. Comes from Carlo. It's a leadership thing. So if somebody's not ready, the key thing of that, if you know somebody's talented, and if they're not ready, just we call it meeting them where they're at and pulling them a little bit. Encouraging them, and when they're ready, they'll come to you. So he was around our circle. I mean, how can you not compete when you're around 100 competitors? And I didn't think he would ever pull the trigger, to be honest.
I even find it like I'm very adamant on I'm never going to do a show again. But even when I'm at bodybuilding shows, I'm like, fuck, that sounds so fun right now, man.
Yeah, they like,
dude, you should do it next year.
Those guys suck. I could beat them.
No,
Just get fucking ripped.
no way.
So, but
imagine if you got just like ripped and you had to shave your beard, you'd look totally
never.
just not like you.
Never.
300.
No.
You'd be like Iron Sanctuary, Kevin.
No way. Dude,
that's like
I mean, we got close to the amount of same of tattoos, but
I thought you guys were brothers. Hey, no, I'm kidding. That was super racist.
that's
Dude, that's like when everybody
beard, tattoos, white.
Beard tattoos.
They gotta be related.
Kevin.
when they were doing that AI shit,
Yeah.
dude, yours looked like something out of like fucking like
that's
a movie
funny.
or some
That's
shit.
funny.
I'm kidding, Kevin. I'm just giving you.
Like they made you look like some kind of fucking like
That was cool.
warrior out of
That was
like
fun.
Lord of the Rings or some shit,
That was
dude.
fun.
But Carlo, man, that was funny. He kept coming around, and then I found out he was asking questions. I think it was to our buddy Jason. And
It's
stuff.
funny that you big timed him when you first met him. You don't even
I did
remember.
not big.
See,
It's
there
like,
seems to
alright.
be there's a developing trend here that seems to be a lot of people ask about Mark before they will go up and ask Mark. I don't know why.
Oh, yeah. And then he started coming to class,
Posing class.
and I'm like, "What are you doing here?" I literally said, "What are you
Big
doing
time
here?
to
What are you
again.
doing?"
It's like,
I'm thinking.
why the hell are
I'm-
you here?
I'm like, "You're thinking about it, or you actually want to do it?" And then we ended up,
Well, you gave him time and space.
bonding with food. We went to Fogo de Chao.
Instead
And,
of pushing him to do it, you let him figure
I
out.
forced him. I stuffed his face with ribeye and that all that filet mignon and all that amazing rib steak from Fogo de Chao.
Yeah.
So do you want to compete or not? No, that's how it all
He
started.
let him figure it out himself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If he would have pushed him, then
He
Carlo
would've-
might not be here right now.
So that's what you're saying. You have to give people time to
Oh, yeah.
come to the conclusion
Yeah.
themselves. Yeah.
Me and Mark met like 3-4 years before we became friends. Like we knew each other for a long time.
Did he
We
big
just-
time you too?
No, I did not. I did not. So it was. I think we started being friends on. Was it Instagram or Facebook? I can't remember.
So it was 2013, I think. No, 2014. I was getting ready for my first show. It was April.
And when you say show, you're doing bodybuilding?
So yeah, this is when I was getting into bodybuilding.
Yeah.
I was helping out at a WNBF natural show.
And I walked by him.
And you walked, I see this, I recognized him.
Yeah.
This is when like Instagram and stuff was still kind of like new
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah.
And I recognized him. And I was like, and I knew he was an IFBB pro, so I was like, holy shit. And I was like, hey, we've talked on Facebook before. He's like, oh yeah, cool.
He goes, hey Mark, and I'm like, who the fuck is that?
It's like we've talked before. Yeah. He's like, we've talked before. And he's like, oh yeah.
And I looked him up. Let me look you up.
No, it's just like everybody wants a piece of it.
And then he walked away. And then like we would, because even after I stopped competing, I stayed like in like supporting the sport in shows and everything for a lot of years.
Yeah.
And we just like every time we saw each other, we just talk a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more.
Yep.
And then there was no like catalyst, and there was no like, we just became friends. Like I don't really know what it was. But he met me when I was a teenager still. I was. I just barely turned 17.
I gotta look back on our, where it says "See Friendship" on Facebook.
Yeah.
See when we started.
Yep.
And then after, I think it was like almost 6 years I didn't see you, but I saw you on social media.
Yeah.
It was 2019.
We just see each other around. Yeah.
I run into him at the WNBF show, and then Sam.
Without getting into too much detail, I approached Mark with my now wife and said how unhappy I was with the what the current coaches did for my wife, and I said, I want you to be her coach now.
Yeah, you talked about that a little bit on the Unseen podcast when you and her were together.
Yeah, that's all I was like, I'm mad about this, they did that. You are her coach now. That was it.
Yeah, and then,
that was it.
And then she walks right by me. I didn't even know it was her. And then, I think his introduction was like, "Hey, meet your new coach." And me and Chelsea were like, "Oh, hey." And then we didn't even reconnect until like, I think it was like 3 or 4 months later.
4 months later, but I mean, here we are.
Yeah, here we are.
Yeah.
So, his wife is one of the most coachable people I know, but always happy.
Yeah.
Sometimes you want to punch somebody like that, don't you? But
When they're just always happy.
I was like, dang. I was like, she's always smiling.
Easy going.
I'm like, it forces me to go.
Smile
When
too.
I'm always like,
Mark, so you need some issues.
no,
so happy.
awesome people though. Awesome people.
That's good when people are happy.
So anyways, back to how your second prep was.
Right, so now we know how you got him as a coach.
Yeah, so how was it this time around?
Nothing too different, just more food now that I've gained.
Because you didn't compete last year. No.
Or this year, I think.
2 years off.
Yeah, or this year.
A year and a half.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing too different really. Just eating a little more. Gained some size since.
Nothing too different. He's like twice the size he was. Literally.
Humble.
Literally.
Just a humble dude.
Yeah. So I'm gaining a little bit of size. We're aiming to get back to the same weight as I competed last year. Hoping to look a little bigger and also more conditioned.
Just bringing a bigger package.
So why Emerald Cup? Because we talked a little bit about you doing a couple different shows, but why E Cup specifically? Because you have the option to do other ones.
I do.
But you chose the Emerald Cup.
It's funny because my fiance now, Paula, before E Cup,
Valentine has been with his fiance twice as long as I have been with my wife.
For 25 years.
You had to be sure,
5, 10.
Paula.
5, 10. Anyways.
I have to make sure.
Oh yeah.
Just
He's
kidding.
he's ready now.
Alright.
But no, it was funny because before the shows this year, before Vancouver and before E Cup, she's like, "Hey, E Cup's coming up again." I was like, "Yeah," and then she's like, "You know what that means, right?" I was like, "What does that mean?" She and then she was like, "That means there's gonna be a new champ, so you're not gonna be the champ this year. So you were last year's news."
Oh man,
seriously?
Paula.
Serious?
That's the kind of woman you want, right?
I know.
Just hanging
She's
around
gonna
the brain
keep
too
you
much.
sharp.
Paula. Wow.
So,
Okay.
alright, I'll be back next year.
So you know she's not gonna let you get complacent.
So he doesn't want. So you don't want to give up the throne.
Right.
You want
Exactly.
You want to show everybody what's up.
She's like, "I didn't even defend it."
Oh.
Okay.
You
That's
want to tell
good.
everybody what her intro was, her bio was for her
Oh.
bikini show when she competed? She
Yeah,
competes
her bio cracked me up because I didn't even know what she put on there. She's like, so Paula Guerrero, proud girlfriend of lightweight or 2021 lightweight champion.
Oh my god, that was so
And
funny.
he didn't even start cheering until she said it. He's like, "Yeah,
That
go
was
Paula!"
so funny. We were at the Iron Man. That was at the Iron Man, right? And we're all just sitting in the audience and they're reading the bio. It's like Paula Guerrero, the girlfriend to the current 2021 lightweight Emerald Cup champion.
And me-
And we all just go,
And me
whoa!
and Lorraine look right at Carlo. We're like, did you tell her to say that?
And he's just like,
That's me.
It's great. Like, hey, that's me.
I'm famous.
Wow. So yeah, okay. Are you doing open and classic?
Yeah, we're gonna do open and classic again.
Well,
That's pretty good. She's keeping you sharp like that, though, dude.
Exactly.
Dang, I had no
A
idea.
lot of women want you to get.
I have never heard that story.
that's hilarious. That's so funny. Paul, shout out to Paula, getting him at the Emerald Cup.
Thank
Awesome.
you, thank you.
Shout out to Paula.
Thank you.
So you're gonna be on? Are you guys on the same day?
No,
Or you
I'm
guys
on on the first day we're on the same day, so
But
the pros are all on Friday now, so
Yeah.
that way
well, no. But so is he on Saturday then?
he's on Friday and
You're
Saturday.
both. You're on both days.
Yeah.
Ugh, ow.
Yeah.
Sorry, that sucks.
Yeah.
Which
So-
day's first?
Classic.
Friday's classic.
Okay, class. That's
Saturday's
good. That's the one you want to go first.
bodybuilding. So
So you can be a little bit more peeled for classic, and you can fill out a little bit
Yeah.
better for
Yeah.
lightweight.
we're probably gonna change our approach a little bit too, because I think the last time we kind of overfed him, and we had to fix it on the second day. I don't know if you remember that.
So how did you fix that?
So basically, sometimes, us coaches or myself, get in over my head and I'm like, oh, he could be fuller. And then it kind of backfired on me a little bit on the first day where he softened up a little bit. And I, sometimes, you got to be, like I said, you got to be transparent and humble and own up to your mistake. And I'm like, I literally had to say, shit, Carlo, I fucked up. We're going to fix this the next day. So it takes a lot of humility to be able to say that as a coach. Otherwise, you're just going to be hiding from me. No, he messed up. No, he cheated.
Nah, that's not like
So
that.
the next day, I'm like, all right, we got to back off. We got to change a few things. So like,
But it worked.
Yeah, what I usually have people do is I have people check in, every 1 or 2 hours. I mean, it's like perfecting like a masterpiece, like a
Right, nothing goes in
like
his
an
mouth
art,
without
yeah.
checking with
Oh,
you.
you'll need to stop by
Yeah.
the HQ during the Emerald Cup and just see what the mess looks like.
Yeah.
Because it's usually me.
Yeah.
It's me, him, and him. But now they're both going to be competing too. So there's going to
Yeah.
be all of us sitting in a ring. And add Lorraine there, add Chelsea there, and we're all just going to be letting everybody come in, look at your tan, look at how you look. Okay, you got to do this, this, and this. Next. Okay, next.
Holy shit.
Next.
Yeah,
Next.
there's an example of one year where I I over dieted some clients, and I remember specifically my wife saying she knows how things are supposed to look like. You are to have them have 2 burgers and 2 large fries, and that's a freaking order.
Yeah.
Because they were that peeled.
And Lorraine doesn't
Yeah.
compete.
What does that do then?
Because
So they literally had to eat 2
Their
burgers.
bodies-
they had to, because they were.
So underfed.
I was so uptight about being conditioned, being
They'll be
shredded,
flat.
but losing the volume on the muscle.
Yeah.
So you can do that to a competitor if you're not. Because they sometimes cannot think for themselves, so you have to think for them.
Right.
And so having a third pair of eyes to look at the athletes, and she knows what she's looking at. And when you have somebody's face that's all
Gone. So how do you know
Yeah.
that's the right move, or that won't do like what you said, where it'll overspill and
So
get too much?
So when you cut, when you were done doing your cut, did
Yeah.
you binge a little bit?
Oh God.
So when you woke up,
How'd you look?
wait, but hold.
How'd you
When
look?
you woke up, how'd you look?
I looked amazing.
That's it.
And then I started thinking I could keep doing
So
it.
that's
I
that's
had to get over that.
when your body is
It took me a
that.
few weeks.
So when your body's that
Yeah.
depleted,
I started
And-
feeling like superhuman.
when your body's that depleted, and then you feed it a little bit of that
You look
shit,
sexy as fuck.
your body uses every little bit of that fucking burger, the ketchup,
I
the
was
mayo,
starting OnlyFans
all of
and
it,
shit, bro.
all of
I
it,
was like,
and
damn.
it will fill everything out. But the trick is if you do too much or too little, you'll overfill, you'll underfill, it won't be enough.
Okay.
So it's fine after the day after the show
Right.
because you're not competing anymore. But when it's okay, it's show day. All right, they're shredded as fuck, but they're flat. If you can be absolutely peeled to the fucking grain. But if you don't got anything in that muscle to get a pump,
It's gonna look bad.
what is there? You'll see it. If you really pay attention to a full bodybuilder lineup, you'll see people. Some people get better the longer they're on stage. Some people fade. It's because they're either
Gaining from
starting to pump up because they're flexing more, they're getting more of a pump, and the stuff they put in them is starting to fill them up. Or they filled up too much or too early, and it starts to fade away, and they get flatter as the show goes on.
So that's all science too. But so you're saying Lorraine knew her shit, and she was able to tell like these two need this now.
Yeah. So imagine, as a, being around the industry, as a girlfriend first, and then became a wife, obviously. After that, she's seen me do 20 shows at the time already, and then she's seen me coach hundreds of athletes, and she pays attention to what my coaches are doing. So, and the great thing about having somebody who has almost like an artistry background, interior design, the body's like construction, and it's interior design, so I know what looks good and what looks like shit. So
she has like the visual and like the artistic look, view. She can like see that. Some people can't, honestly.
Because Mark is looking at it from a performance standpoint, and Lorraine is looking at it from an aesthetic,
a body of art,
and an art standpoint. So it's a really good.
She has that eye for that
mesh.
Yeah.
Mark will be like, "Oh yeah, the fucking shredded as all hell. You're so peeled." But Lorraine's like, "But nothing's flowing." So.
Yeah. And then
it's a good combo you got.
Yeah, the other part too is the artsy part. Is the most appreciated part is the posing and the presentation. The most unworked on part, in my opinion, in bodybuilding, is she even looks at that too. And I want to do a performance or like a guest posing, or I want to do a little nuance, or I want to do a certain song, and she will literally say, "You shouldn't do that." I'm like, why? It looks cool to me. It ain't gonna look cool to 1,000 people. It doesn't look good to me. I'm like, and it's not the right song for what you want to do. And it just doesn't fit. You know what I mean? And I'm like, but I like it. I was like, we're talking about marketing here. It's not gonna translate to the masses of people. You can't be stuck in the 1980s music and expect millenniums to...
Millenniums.
What did everybody tell you last year, Mark?
Which one?
Bro. Emerald Cup?
Which one?
The song.
What song?
You know what song I'm talking about.
That's funny you say...
What, Tipsy? Tipsy or... Or To the Window, To the Walls?
That one.
Oh.
Yeah. Where we were just like, no.
Well, it's funny that he says, like, to millennials, but it's like, no, millennials are fucking 30 now, too, bro.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Because we all were... he put it on.
Old as fuck
he
now.
put it on, and we're just like...
Yeah, Generation X.
And he was just like, oh, I love this. And we're just like, bruh.
What's like the young generation now? What do they call them?
Gen X, Z, yeah.
Yeah, Z's have taken over, dude.
Yeah.
Z.
They're in control of shit.
But yeah, especially like, because I picked up on, because I only did one show, but I've stayed,
I want to know what your song was.
It was 300 Violin Orchestra.
Ooh, some like symphony shit.
Did you wear some Gladiator stuff, like Thor stuff or whatever?
Dude, I'd put you in a fucking movie.
See, you're picturing what I look like now, but jacked. That's not what I looked like then. I was skinny and had a fucking mohawk and no beard.
Yeah, I remember your before.
Yeah.
It looked very different.
Very different. But
he looked like one of the guys in Yellowstone if you watch that.
Yeah.
He was a cowboy.
So, but Lorraine's picked up on stuff just because she's just been there. She hears people talk. She sees, okay, these are the bodies that get rewarded because they look good. These are the bodies that do poorly because
she's
they
staying
look bad.
in tap with the culture of it all.
And I've done similar because I worked shows after I was done. I was an expediter. I was backstage. So I'd be watching all of them before they went on stage and seeing, okay, they did this to counteract this. They did this to make this better. Like, my one thing that I love doing is I love checking people's tans.
Yeah.
I'm the tan guy. I zero in like, nope, Mark.
I know that.
You haven't.
Dude, I don't know shit about
They're not
spray
Latino
tan.
enough.
No, but every year I'm always, Mark needs to be darker. She needs to be darker. She's fine, good, solid. I hyper fixate.
And that stuff
Because
matters too.
Because I've applied tan. I've been the tan guy for a couple of years too, applying tan.
Yeah.
And it's...
That's an art too, probably. Like
They judge that too.
Yeah.
Well, so my eyes are a little fucked up. I'm colorblind, and so I see people's skin shades a little bit differently. Everybody looks a little bit darker to me. So if you look light to me, you're not fucking dark enough.
Because they already look darker.
Yeah.
Can you see? Do I look dark enough for you?
No.
You need a tan, bro.
So Nick's getting there, but
Damn it.
I tan like it's from being a pro wrestler, dude.
But I figured that out just because I'm in backstage. Like I'm just watching, like, oh, this person's tan washed out.
But do you think also like the whole thing, since it's so subjective and it's like an art form, that like there's different themes that kind of take over, and you got to stay in tap with the culture of what's going to be judged a certain way this year, what's changing with the...
You got to pay attention.
Isn't that kind of the thing that happens in it? It's going to, like you said, this year the Olympia is going a different way, kind of, and
but
things are kind of changing.
You also cannot look at the Olympia and then be like, they're going to apply that to the Emerald Cup.
Right. Yeah. That's a whole different
You know,
culture, right?
The guy who wins classic physique at the Emerald Cup is not C-Bum.
Yes.
No.
The guy who wins open bodybuilding is not, especially when it comes to bodybuilding and local shows. Because when you're looking at bodybuilding at the Olympia, it's 212 guys and super heavies. That's it. Mm-hmm. It's not bantam, lightweight, middleweight, heavyweight. You don't see that.
Right.
So you can't judge Mark and Carlo the same way you can judge Big Ramy.
Right.
You're not looking, like, they have different details that they're going to have, but Ramy's leverages and muscle bellies are going to look completely different. You can't judge it the same way. Mm-hmm. So it's almost, you also don't see the same judging panels. You know, the guys that are judging the Olympias, the Arnold Classics, that kind of stuff, they're always the same kind of group. Yeah. Whereas the people doing the local shows, same kind of group.
Yeah, that's the thing about the panels, though. So sometimes it's not just the lineup.
Yeah.
It's the panel. The panel could consist of people who like shape, or people who just like conditioning, or people like the Ferrari. Yeah. And they don't like the Honda, the little guy.
Yeah.
So it's all kind of subjective to what...
Bodybuilding is an opinion-based sport. There is and I'm not a judge, and I'm not trying to pretend that I am, but there is a criteria that you follow. But it's an opinion-based...
Still each person...
It's an opinion-based sport. Mm-hmm. You put Mark and Carlo on stage, 6 of them could say Mark looks better, 5 of them could say Carlo looks better, even though the whole audience is like, Carlo looked better.
So are there times when somebody wins, but clearly the audience was behind someone else?
Yes. Yes.
It's happened to me.
Yes. Yes.
It happened to me, but see here, I'm glad we're bringing that up because sportsmanship.
I think you talked about that.
We're talking about. I wasn't just going against anybody on the stage. I mean, pretty much everybody on stage I know. We've been on. We've followed each other. We text message each other. We've been in class together. The guy who beat me, a good friend of mine, Cody Watkins from the Portland area. We didn't even know we were going to be on stage together.
Was that last year?
That was no. That was 2015 when I lost the Emerald Cup overall. I lost by 2 points, and we didn't know we were going to be on stage together, but we were in class posing and competing against each other every single week or two that I was going to class, and it was crazy because when we ended up going against each other, I lost by 2 points. A lot of the crowd did not agree with the result because a lot of them are my friends. I've made a lot of friends in the industry, and even some people had their own opinions. Would I wanted to win? Absolutely. That was actually supposed to be the show that was supposed to be my last show, because if you think about it, if I can beat somebody that's 225 to 250 pounds, and I'm 154 pounds, and to be exact, I was actually 149 pounds. I don't think there's anything else to prove at that point. So I I probably
Except
wouldn't.
for, going to the Olympia and men's physique.
Yeah.
Or going to the Arnold, or,
For sure.
which
Which
you
we did.
did
I
do.
did. I
So,
did.
I don't got anything else to prove. I just go to a different division, win another pro card, and then go to one of the biggest shows in the world. Nothing else to prove. Don't worry about it. Anyways, continue.
Mark's humble.
I make sure that everybody
His
knows.
friends have to do it for him.
I'm his hype man. I make sure everybody knows how much
You gotta have a good hype.
how much of a big fucking deal he is.
Oh my god. No, I'm kidding.
You know,
It's
this
good
is-
if your friends
I
do it.
appreciate Sam.
This is Mark.
It's better if your friends
Sindayen.
do that than you doing it.
Pronounce his last name fucking right, alright?
Unless you want to go full heel mode and then you
Sindayen,
start.
Sanjaya,
Sindayen.
Sindayen, Sindayen.
Sindayen is the one that everybody gets.
That's since high school.
Well, when I first met him too, I was like, how do I say this? I'm always like,
Just say Mark S.
Mark Sindayen.
Just kidding.
Say Filipino giant.
Filipino
Filipino
giant kills
giant,
motherfuckers.
Filipino giant
Oh,
killer,
jeez.
big white ninja killer.
So back to the sportsmanship thing. What we were gonna go into about that was
Not be a dick.
not be a dick and think about it. If I didn't really pay attention to what I was doing, I had multiple sponsors at that point. You're a representation of not only your coach, you're a representation of the people that trusted their brand with you. AKA Max Muscle back then for almost 6 years. I could have stormed off the stage because everybody knew I was the most conditioned guy in the entire show. But sometimes it's not that, right? But the worst thing you could do is storm off the stage. Or I've even had some people that I know that have broken their trophies and threw it off the stage. Or
But it just makes you look bad.
I've seen somebody attack a judge before.
Yeah, and I've seen that too. And I'm like, do you realize you're biting the
Just
hands that
ruin your
feed
chances
you,
of
and
You're done.
They're not
done.
And I've seen people get banned and walked out, and they're like literally banned from walking into a show. Period. So that would have happened, but that's an important thing. So I tipped my hand to a Cody and shook his hand, and there's nothing I could change. And then after the show, people were still bitching about I was like, guys, it's over. I can't do anything about it anymore. I wanted to win, yeah, but hey, to be considered as one of the little guys, to be considered to even be in the conversation of a winner, I'm okay with that.
Because that was for the overall, right?
That was for the overall, and I would have been the third lightweight in history to win the Emerald Cup. There's only been two. There's been Joe Dawson, who went all the way to the Olympia in 1991, 154-pound bodybuilder, by the way.
Yeah.
And Owen McCurdy, who won in 2001, who beat another good friend of mine, Jeff Markoff, who was a 300-pound super heavyweight.
I've seen it before.
Yeah.
What? Sorry.
But it's kind of like you let the crowd do that. If they're gonna argue that you won,
Yeah.
let them say that. But you're saying keep your shit together.
Yep.
You're only gonna make yourself look bad.
You're not gonna
That's
last.
good advice.
You're not going to last if you're a dick.
You just gotta hold that
Yep.
together, right?
You're not going to last in the fitness industry if you're a dick. You're just not.
Yeah, you can tell a lot about somebody's character, though, how they handle themselves in adversity, though. So.
Well, it's kind of like not getting emotional.
Nope.
At the you gotta wait, give it some time.
Yeah, another thing,
Chill
too,
out.
is it's not just that. Your family and friends are watching.
Yeah.
And my kids are there.
Gonna throw a fucking tantrum.
You know, man. They're in a glass house. I mean, I'm in a glass house, so you have to, as much as you want.
And you're
to say
teaching your kids then to do that if
Well,
this
you're
stuff doesn't
also-
go their way.
You're not just a reflection of your brand, the sponsors, your coach, your athletes. You're also a reflection of the sport.
right.
Yep.
What if you're the next viral video of somebody freaking out at a judge?
Yeah, like spoiled brat freaks out because he doesn't
Yeah.
win. Like
And
you
what
can
if
see it.
the band hammer comes down because of you?
Yeah.
What if
Dude.
you could be that?
Some of those viral videos, like imagine being
Yeah.
that guy and you gotta live with that for the rest of your
Yeah.
life. That's the biggest thing anybody knows you from.
Did you guys see that?
Like
when
some
I sent
fucking
you
one
recently?
video.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah, so you always gotta be, I'm not saying don't, I mean, fake it till you make it, but like, don't fake being a nice person, but like, just don't be a dick.
choose to be a nice person.
Yeah.
Even when you don't feel
Well,
like
even if you don't want to be a nice guy, then don't. But, like, just don't be a dick.
But now, Mark, you gotta retire and you can go full bad guy.
No.
On the air. Just start talking mad shit.
He's gonna
Always.
he's gonna keep going until he's 50, and then he's supposed to come out of retirement every 10 years.
70.
Yeah,
dude.
He's supposed to come out of retirement every 10 years, then.
Yeah, Brett Favre.
Yes.
I love it, dude.
So go till 50, then retire, and then compete at 60.
If you never quit doing it, you'll never get bad at it.
Hey man, I know a couple 70-year-old bodybuilders, and it's pretty nuts.
Remember Harold?
Yeah,
I love that guy. He started when he was 74, and he's now 78 years old.
Holy shit.
Harold is one of the sweetest men I have ever met. Thank fucking God you're still alive. Well, I didn't. So no, like I saw him for 2-3 years straight, and then COVID happened, and I was like, and I have no way of getting in touch with this guy.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't know.
We had a nice guy that used to come to the bar all the time. Sat there with his dog. He's gone. You never know with old people.
And so then I saw him though at a show. Like I was reading the roster, and I saw his name. I'm like,
he made it through COVID.
Hell yeah, sweet, hell yeah.
I gotta tell you a funny story about Harold. He was, you know how we do that freestyle thing where I have people, post certain songs.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Out of all the songs he could have chosen, it was hilarious, and the ladies loved it. I love Harold.
Like bringing sexy back or something.
So I play Chris Brown, Fine China, and he's like, "Who is that?" And I'm like,
"Oh,
Harold, that's Chris Brown. I like that song."
Yeah.
I'm like, I think I'm gonna use that for my posing routine. So we did it. We did that. We do that all the time. I always play an off-kilter song, and then so when that song went off at the WNBF show,
that was
the
so
ladies
good.
were just
that was awesome.
going nuts.
That was great. Harold, love him.
And so he is a guy who started
at 74.
74.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool when you see people of an
It's never too late, man. Never too late.
Hey man, I have 3 Masters World Champions in my gym.
You've talked about this.
I've got 2 people. Cindy Goodrich is one of them.
Cindy's awesome.
Cindy Goodrich, who's a
bodybuilding.
very well-known bodybuilder in Washington State. She is a world champion powerlifter, and she's over 60. And they just went to Australia this year.
She's Paula's size.
Yeah, she's little.
She got her pro card at.
She is teeny tiny.
Yeah. Universe.
Yeah. Yeah. So you are never, ever too.
You can always do something cool.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Anytime I see 60, 70-year-old whatever lifting this much, I'm like, share that shit. That's so cool.
Well, you've talked about helping people come back from that and giving them kind of like vitality in their life again.
There's nothing I will take watching a 70-year-old man pull something that's heavy for him over the random 18-year-old dude pulling 800 pounds. I don't give a fuck. The old man is way cooler.
That's
way cooler. So I'm like, that's what I want right there. I would love to still be able to move and do that kind of shit when I'm that old.
I think about that a lot now.
Yeah, probably won't be able to. I keep telling my wife, you're going to be pushing the wheelchair at some point. It's just going to happen.
Knees are going to be screwed.
Knees and hips are already fucked, man. I'm just holding it together.
Me too. I have a Velcro ice pack on my shoulder. Carlo's seen this.
I saw that.
I think so. And then I have a Velcro strapped lower back ice pack, so that I do 3 times a day.
It's just a sport that's hard on the body. Yeah.
I mean, lifting's hard. It just is, and I started lifting really, really young. It's weird, but I started lifting since when I was 12.
Right.
I have over 10 years of lifting. 13 now?
Does lifting early, you think that's then strict?
No, I heard they just did a new study that was actually false.
False. There was not the guy.
So you used to be 7 feet?
That guy. No, I used to be taller. My spine is slowly compressing from squats.
There were certain things that could stunt your growth, but they said it wasn't the lifting. I can't remember what it was.
That guy was outed as not using enough valid information, a large enough testing pool, and being very biased in his research. So no, that is not That is not a bad thing. You want your 8-year-old
Your
kid
kids moving.
You want your 8-year-old kid to work
active.
out, and if your 8-year-old kid wants to work out, fucking let them. Just make sure they're safe. Not enough kids, not enough youth nowadays know how to fucking move. So my brother-in-law, who is a senior this year, he's taking online PE.
It's like kids be getting
What
type
the
2 diabetes.
There's and love the kid to death, but he's overweight. He is taking online fucking PE. What the hell? Why is that a thing? Like,
I don't know.
COVID
was some weird shit, dude.
Why the fuck was walking class a thing in my high school? That was an elective you could take, and you just walked. Walking.
Yeah.
No way. Anyone feel that?
That was the. Yes.
How? Not showing up?
Because they walked to the grocery store, not come back.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sam's passionate about this shit.
I am Pat.
Goddamn
It's
kids.
fucking fuck them kids, man.
Goddamn kids.
I got a poster.
Give them these participation trophies and
I got a
shit.
fucking
Goddamn.
poster in my gym. I've got a T-shirt that says "fuck them kids."
Fuck your
man.
feelings. Yeah.
Fuck them kids, man. Like, god damn it.
Oh, I love it, dude. No, I think you are right though, because it's like if you go to the basics of it, it's like the health is not great in this country.
No.
If you look at the statistics, so
Yeah.
it's not always just about appearance or like bullying people. It's just like
We are the #1 country in overweight people in the world. We are the most unhealthy country.
Well, a lot of food is kind of full of a bunch of shit, and we're not as active.
We have good food here.
There's good
We
food
have
too.
no. I mean, even our bad food
Quality.
is
Good
good.
quality.
We're
Like,
lucky.
there's a lot more good nutrients in your fucking McDouble than you think there is.
Well, especially if you look at like countries starving and shit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
we're lucky.
Did
to
you
live
have to do that right now? Talk about McDoubles.
I don't give a fuck. Right
Dude,
now,
I like
man.
McDonald's.
I don't care. I've lost weight eating McDonald's.
Yeah.
When I was in prep for Raw Nationals, I did my weight cut while I was working at McDonald's, and I was eating McDonald's for almost every meal, and I dropped down from 245 pounds to 231.
I'm kind of hungry for McDonald's now, bro. Like,
Sorry.
Yum.
Yeah, the powerless.
today's a
eating.
super low calorie day for me because it's
No.
like it's a rest day, so I don't eat a lot of carbs.
No, the whole food thing is not a fucking
Get it
excuse.
lettuce wrapped.
It's
Just some lettuce wrap burgers.
it's a
yeah.
laziness.
Wrap.
It's a laziness. And
I think you're right. Just lack of movement compared to the past.
It's
right?
a laziness and accountability thing, and now you can make. There's so many more opportunities to make money not doing fucking anything now.
True.
There's people that are rich out of their ass for being fat.
How do they do that? Crypto?
No, this guy fucking Nico Avocado, fucking he eats on
And he gets
YouTube.
paid
What are those,
for it?
what are those
Yeah.
food challenges?
Mukbang.
Mukbang.
Bro,
Mukbang.
it's like we're paying people to kill themselves
Yeah.
slowly. That's fucked
Yeah.
up.
Yeah, it's terrible.
I mean, there's got to be like some weird shit. Like, I think I knew this girl I used to work with. Where like, she would go stream live, and dudes would like pay her just to like eat a sub sandwich.
Yeah,
Just, like,
it's
they're like, baby, eat that sub sandwich.
yes,
Ooh,
yeah, dude.
You want me to take another bite?
If you can think of it, there's a market for it.
Dude, if you can think of it, you're right. There's somebody to
There's a
feed.
market.
Fucking
I've
eat that sub sandwich,
some-
baby.
Like the bowl challenge.
I've done
at
some
far
I've done
restaurants.
some weird shit, you know,
You ever done
to
that?
make ends meet before.
Oh yeah.
I've been there, you know, the internet's a wild place.
Selling
you
my
know.
body online.
Not
That's
my.
why we work out, right?
That's why I work out.
I got a weird. I don't know if we talked about it, but I sold my underwear one time.
Dude,
Sam.
was it? Do you think a
Did you
lady
wash
bought
it?
it? Or
No, it was
did
a
you-
dude.
Probably not washed.
No, it
And
was
he
a
just
dude.
wanted to
Was it-
smell
was
it.
it a
I
tiny
was.
lady?
I
Was
think
it a
I
tiny
was.
lady?
I was. I think I was 20,
Was it fruity?
and you know, this is me. You know, trying to make rent, trying to make
Yeah.
ends meet. Also, you know,
I
trying.
got no judgment.
Yeah, no. I think it's fucking
And
hilarious.
if you're trying to sell,
I think it's so stupid that this guy fucking paid for my underwear. It's like, yeah, sure, why not? I don't
because
care.
let's be honest, if you're trying to sell like anything like that, like if you're a girl or a guy and you're like having OnlyFans or selling sex,
Yeah.
like it's guys watching
He-
both of you.
he-
It's
he-
not
yeah.
gonna be girls. Like,
He sent me. He DM'd me on Instagram.
yeah.
He sent me $10. He said, "Go buy this underwear, work out in it, send it to me.
Bro, you couldn't get $200?
Oh no, then he sent me 300.
Oh fuck yeah!
For
Are you kidding?
underwear? Right? Yeah.
No freaking way.
Yes.
Is he still out there?
I told him. I'm
You want
like.
me to wear some underwear?
I told him. I
for
said
$300,
I'll
bro?
put it in the envelope.
I'll work out
I was
that
like,
shit. I'll
it's like,
swap.
that's what I was saying. That's what I did. And I said, I'll put it in the envelope. I'll send it to you. There's going to be no return address. I don't give a fuck if you get it or not. Send me the money and then I'll send it to you.
Show me the
What
money.
year was this?
Show me
This
the
was,
money.
let's see. So this was
Did
2017.
your wife know about this?
Yes.
Dude, she
It-
supports.
was that the first date?
No.
It's like, hey,
We were
I just want-
dating.
Dude, I knew this was gonna
I
be
just wanna be real
uncensored.
transparent with
We
you.
were dating. We were dating.
Oh, she'd support it. Are you?
Yeah,
kidding?
absolutely.
This guy wants to give you
Wow.
how much money? 300 to
300?
fucking
Fuck
dirty
yeah.
up some underwear?
Yeah.
Fuck yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Get that fucking bag, bro.
Yeah. I'm
You
not
guys-
ashamed of it at
Were
all.
you guys together when you did your show?
No. Yeah, no.
Oh.
No.
Bro, where are these dudes who want me to wear underwear for $300?
Dubai.
I'm in. I'm fucking in.
Seriously?
Right now.
Why do you think Larry Wheels lives in Dubai?
It's always, dude, I was at the gym the other day and this dude like came up and showed me this picture of this super hot girl, like 22-year-old, like he's like, this is my girlfriend. I'm like, no, it's not. And he's like, yeah, well, all these girls, they want you to get this app and send them money, but this one, she's different.
Bro. Oh,
And I wanted to be like, bro, that is some guy in his basement with some hot girl's picture. Stop talking to her. Like, stop what you're doing.
No.
You know, there's so many scams out there,
Oh
dude.
my god.
And it's funny how he like knew that, like, well, I think a lot of them just want money, but she's different. And I'm like,
She
why?
actually
Like,
talks
no.
about my feelings.
Yeah, you're talking to a guy on his.
But every
His
time
mom's
that
basement.
I want to FaceTime, they
Yeah, she won't do
the
it.
camera's broken.
Because he was saying that, well, I'll send you money to get a better phone. Oh no, that's okay. We don't need to FaceTime.
I mean, at least they're not asking for. Hey man, like, hey, okay, like,
Total catfish. Dude.
it sucks, right, that he's being tricked. But at least he's got somebody to talk to.
True,
Right, and they're not asking for money.
Right, because if they ask for money, he wants a video.
Yeah, like,
Yeah, I think they wanted money before that, but when
Yeah.
he started mentioning, I'll get you a better phone because I want you to touch your nose or something
Right.
on camera and prove it to you, she
Right.
was like, no, it's cool.
yeah.
Whatever. At
Hey,
least they
man.
got each other, bro. Come on.
I saw this.
Just
there's
talk
this-
to the guy.
I don't know if you ever knew this College Humor. This is a channel called College Humor, and it was
I remember that,
it was
yeah.
a skit that they did, and it was two military guys showed up bearing a flag for a fallen soldier, and it's this bald ass dude that answers the door. They're like, "We're looking for Monica," and he's like, "That's me.
I'm Monica.
I was catfishing this guy." And they're like, he screamed his name. He screamed your name as he ran into
How did we get onto
gunfire.
this subject?
Oh
And-
my god, dude, that's
Yeah.
hilarious. Are you
Yeah, it's
serious?
so
he,
fun.
he died. He
Yeah,
screamed
he died.
your name.
Yeah, and then they're going through this and like, yeah, maybe I fucked up. I need to stop doing this. And then another group shows up and they're like, hi, we're looking for Sarah. 2 in 1 day.
Oh my god, dude.
I'll send it to you. It's
That's
hilarious.
fucking straight up hilarious.
It's so funny.
I remember some of that shit back in the day. The internet was wild. They
Oh,
made
yeah.
some funny ass
That was
skits.
before like everything got censored and everything, so it was just a wild landscape.
How do you even think that's a funny concept, dude?
We
Like
went from underwear.
he
to,
ran
like,
into battle and died screaming your
And
name.
then, yeah. And he was just like, I was gonna like have him propose and then say my car broke down on the way to the
Oh,
venue and
Jesus.
string this guy along for another 3 years at least.
Oh my
Like,
god.
oh, this is so
Well, dude,
good.
that's the weird thing when we're all like avatars. Like, what was that movie with like Bruce Willis where it's like, so like you can go out in the world, but like half
Yeah.
the people are just like sitting in their house in this machine and they have an
Yeah.
avatar go out. So you're like with this hot girl, but really it's just some fat dude sitting in his house.
Right.
Like he's controlling this hot girl avatar, and you don't know the difference.
Hey,
Like,
man.
That's
that's the
crazy.
future's gonna be weird.
Technology's scary and I hope I don't live to see it be scary.
Well, look at that AI shit we all did. It's already getting weird like that.
Yeah. Well, that's not too weird. That was just.
I thought it was cool.
That was just a program that took a lot of art styles from
Stole
famous artists and used your picture to create something.
So, did you think that was bad that they kind of stole art?
No.
Because I had people complaining about it,
No.
and I was kind of like,
If you're
I know you motherfuckers
No.
used Napster back
hey,
in the day,
if
so
you're complaining about it, then
you're stealing shit from artists too.
If you're complaining about it, then you're not confident in your own ability.
That's what my
It's just
brother
like
said, dude.
like AI coaching for powerlifting is a big thing right now.
Yeah.
Where there's AI coaching apps. A lot of people are threatened by it. I'm not.
Because you're not, because you have confidence.
Because an AI coach will never replace what an in-person coach can do. I know some people who have done very well off of AI coaching, and it works. But an AI coach cannot cue you.
Can't do what a human can do.
An AI coach cannot see how your previous set looked and say, hey, you need to put this foot here, do this, do that. So no, I'm not threatened by it at all. And
Right.
I don't think anybody should. I don't think anybody who values what they do and has confidence in what they do should be concerned about it, because it's not going to...
So what's your opinion on that? An online coach versus an in-person.
I do online coaching.
So,
I
you think one's more effective than the other?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
I'm very up and honest with people that I take on as an online client. Like, look, if you're like, you need to understand how this works. Like, I prefer to have people in person, but I'm not going to shy away from.
But this is still a good option for you.
And I'll do online coaching. Like, I do online coaching for people in Washington that just don't have time to see me on a regular basis. That's fine.
I know a lot of successful people here that are great athletes. Where I ask who their coaches are. I've never met them.
My coach is an online coach.
Yeah.
Joe lives in Vegas.
Yeah.
I have met him a total of 2 times in my whole life.
But he's a great coach. Right?
But I have,
But
he's
the
a
advantage
fantastic
for
coach.
you, well, the thing about you is you don't need to be coddled. Though,
No,
so,
a new lifter or a new competitor should not have a brand new coach. If you are less than a year into the sport, you should not have an online coach. Even if you're a genetic marvel, because you don't have.
You need that hands-on.
Yeah. I didn't start coaching people online until this year, and I've been in the sport for 8 years because I didn't feel confident in it. And if I don't feel confident in what I'm doing, then I'm not going to do it. So no, I think online coaching is great, but there's definitely a stigma of everybody can be a coach. You do one show, one meet, one competition, you think you can coach it. That's not the fucking case at all.
For sure. I didn't even start being a coach, and I don't think I even wanted to be a coach at the time. And
you didn't start coaching until you were 13 years into the sport.
13 years, and
Yeah.
when I won my only overall that I won, it was crazy. What happened, and I was just helping people with posing at the time, and I'm not even kidding. On the same day, I got like 10 inquiries, and then I was talking to my coach. He's like, "What are you gonna do with them?" And I'm like, "He's like, somebody's got to coach them," and I'm like, "But I don't know what I'm doing." And he goes, "You haven't learned a damn thing in 7 shows.
You know what you're doing. You just
So the difference is I was actually winning, but I just didn't win the whole show. I was excelling.
Yeah.
I was like, have you been paying attention to what we're doing? Because you're either being a follower or what they call a subservient person. That's what the great thing, like when you shouldn't be afraid of being questioned type of thing.
Yeah.
If you're dealing with somebody that's constantly just following what you're doing, but they're not paying attention to what you're trying to do with them and not asking questions.
Yeah.
You have a so-called, a subservient person, just a follower, not somebody. I mean, obviously, not everybody's going to be a coach.
No, they don't need to be.
Yeah.
But they need to be understanding what you're having them do.
Absolutely.
But that person might be just a great follower.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
It's okay
But
to
I
figure
want
it
you
out.
to question me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want you, because then I
Well,
know.
you're
Then I
instilling
know
that
you.
in them.
Then I know you give a shit.
Right, and it shows that they're kind of like becoming self-capable too. Like you're actually teaching them.
A lot of people need to do this shit for people for free. The first Connor, the guy I was talking about earlier, he was my first guy that I took from starting the sport all the way through getting him stronger, making him learn the sport to in a competition. And I told him from the get-go, I'm not charging you shit. Because I don't know if I know what the fuck I'm doing. But I think I do. So we're going to try. And we're going to see.
Yeah.
And I didn't charge him a dime because I wasn't sure. I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had a few people ask me to prep them for shows.
Yeah.
I can get somebody dieted down. I can help them build muscle. I can improve their physique. I don't know what I'm doing as well the last 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Especially that last week. I am not confident in it, so I'm not going to do it. I'm trying to learn.
Yeah.
I want to learn, but no, I'm not going to do it because
You're
I'm
not
not
there yet.
I'm not there yet, and I don't think somebody should be. If you're not confident in it, or well, you gotta eventually take a leap of faith.
Right.
You have to, but you have to have a certain level of confidence. Like, I'm pretty sure this is gonna work.
Yeah.
It might not, but
Yeah.
I fucking think so.
Again, trial and error, right?
Yeah, right.
That's what I would ask. You know, I was like, well, you're wanting me to start coaching, right? Like, yeah, I would do it. You want to make some extra money on the side, or blah blah blah. And I was like, well, can I ask you questions? He was like, absolutely.
Yeah.
You think I'm going to leave you in the dirt?
Yeah. I asked my coach a question just about every week about something. Like it just like a lot of what I have my people do is a lot of stuff that he's had me do because I know it fucking works. But I know, like, I figured out how it works for me, and I can figure out how to apply it to other people who are different from me.
Yeah.
But it's still, I know it works.
Well, you're learning from your coach. It's like,
Yeah.
and he learned from their coach, and it's like,
And a
then
good
it
coach
becomes
is-
your own style eventually,
And
right?
a good coach is fine with that. Now, you should, don't take their fucking program that they're doing,
Copy it word for
copy
word.
and paste it and throw it on them.
Bundling.com.
Don't do that shit. But,
That's
you know,
funny,
like,
yeah.
I have a lot of exercises that I didn't even know existed that my coach has had me do.
Yeah.
And I try it, and I'm like, fuck, this is awesome. I'm making everybody do this. But you implement it, you learn how to implement it at the right time.
Right. It's like when Jordan was training with Dave at Body Shop, like he was doing all these back days, and then he was putting me through those. And it's basically like I know I'm getting like the shit that he's
Yeah.
getting from Dave that he's learning, and
Yeah.
it's like,
Yeah.
so I benefited from what he was doing that he was getting from Dave, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like,
Like Connor is built very similar to me. We're the same age. We have very similar leverages. So he does a lot of the same stuff I do because it's fucking working for me.
right.
And if it's gonna, and I'm like, dude, you're basically getting secondhand world record holder coaching.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like, yeah, I'm not fucking complaining.
Right.
So yeah,
For sure.
like,
Dude, all the greatest bands when they started as like cover bands usually,
Yeah.
playing other people's music.
Right.
Then it turned into their own. It's the same type of shit. You learn
Sound
from
samples.
you learn from your heroes, who learn from
Yeah.
their heroes. You take stuff, you become your own thing, and then you become good. I mean, that's-
absolutely.
Wrestlers, same shit.
Yeah.
Nature Boy Ric Flair, you got it from the
Yeah.
Nature Boy Buddy Rose or whatever.
Yeah,
Like, come on,
absolutely. Yeah, you have to, and you got to be okay with people doing that.
right? And most of the people, like, it's kind of like you said, if you're not, and the guys who are great, they're not scared because it's like I already know I'm good. So if he steals this from me, it's not going to
Well,
bother me.
you look
Yeah.
a great way to look at coaches is they're advertising what their athletes have done as marketing for their service,
Right.
not necessarily what they've done. So like it's totally fine that if you are a world record holder, pro in whatever division, to be like, hey, look, this is me. I've achieved this, but look at what all of my clients have done.
Yeah.
If you're like, hey, I'm a deadlift world record holder, buy my deadlift program.
But
And
none
you
of
have
your
nobody
clients
behind you
have,
coming from
yeah,
you.
yeah.
Right, like, yeah, it's different because, like,
So it's kind of like if you are a coach.
nobody else is you.
Yeah.
And it goes back to the, like, you could be a great athlete. You could be the best fucking bodybuilder on the planet. You don't see Big Ramy talking about all of his online coaching.
Right.
Yeah, so the thing about that sometimes is you know, especially if you have an elite athlete, you know, like I was talking about before, there's a healthy level of narcissism, and there is a
Ego.
unhealthy
Hey.
version. If you have an unhealthy form of narcissism
Nothing's
and
wrong
you're
with
only
ego.
thinking about yourself, ego's
Nothing's wrong with ego.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Go to Ego Gym. Let's go.
That was,
That was a shout out.
that
to
was my
Ego Gym.
shameless plug for Mr. Sam.
Yeah.
You're welcome. So,
Healthy ego.
yeah, so the thing about that is if you're not able to stop thinking about yourself,
Yeah.
I don't think you can be a coach.
No.
So, yeah, that's what one of the athletes, I think going back to what I was talking about earlier, an athlete was asking me, well, I didn't want to bother you during your prep. I'm like, dude, I'm helping 20 athletes. There's absolutely no way.
You're like, I
Yeah.
appreciate the
Yeah.
hell out of you
Yeah.
for thinking about
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
But don't.
This is how I feed my family. It is
Right.
not competing. Competing, the part of that, like, if you were like doing a powerlifting meet in the same couple weeks, what the key part about that is why I think it's important too is to be able to still keep competing. Is you're leaving your clients with no excuses.
Yeah.
Now they're seeing you do what they're supposed to be doing, and you're actually doing it. They're like, dang,
So leading by example.
yeah.
I was gonna say
can't
nothing
do
really
anymore.
motivates me more than leading by example.
I will not. I won't make a single one of my clients do any exercise or
Yep.
variation of anything that I'm not willing to do myself.
Yeah.
If I've had you do it and it's really shitty, it's because I did it and I found out it really fucking sucks. Like I had a client do yesterday, like after all of her squat accessories and everything, she had 3 sets of leg press, 3x15, and then a 4th rep AMRAP, as many sets as possible. Then a 2x20 on walking lunges, and she was like, "This fucking sucks. This is." I'm like, "How do you fucking think I figured that out?"
Yeah.
It's because my goddamn coach made me do it,
Yeah.
and I figured out it sucks. But guess what? My squat got bigger.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, I like with Connor when he did his first meet, I competed 3 weeks later. I was in prep for nationals the whole time he was in prep. So, yeah, lead by example, absolutely, and be willing to be an example. But go back to the sportsmanship thing, be a good fucking example.
Yeah, and then
Right.
being the good example thing too is when you're looking for like guidance or a coach. I mean, we're all in pretty strong relationships here.
Yeah.
You can't ask advice from somebody who's not flourishing in a
No.
relationship. They've had to gone through. Now, so what sometimes scares me, I'm transitioning into the couples thing here, is when you're getting advice from somebody who shouldn't be. I'm like, well, that person's failed in like 20,000 relationships, and you're gonna ask them for advice.
Getting
Yeah.
relationship advice from your single friends.
Right, that's not what
Yeah,
I'm
what should I do? Fuck them.
Well, like.
Let's go out tonight.
I talked a little bit about it with you, Nick, the last time I was on. But a guy that I look up to quite a bit, Dan Bell. Because there was a point in time with powerlifting, I was like, I'm all in. This is all that fucking matters. Sacrifice everything, family time, relationship time, etc. Missing holidays, all that kind of shit to go train. And he put it into perspective. He's the strongest guy in the fucking world right now. Nobody's better than him. It's a hobby. It's a hobby. And they were just talking about it on the one I was just listening to. It was like these guys that have a GoFundMe to send me to a powerlifting meet because I can't afford it myself. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah.
This is a hobby. We're lifting weights. Yeah. Like, if you can't afford it, if you can't scrape together $500 for you to go fucking compete, why the hell are you doing this? But he talked about how, this is a hobby. And if and you can make, and I've made a career out of it, and I've been able to, and I'm very blessed for that. But if he's the best guy in the world, and he can say this is a hobby, this is and then who the fuck am I to be like, I'll die for this sport? And he talked about if you let all the other aspects of your life improve, the gym's just gonna get better.
Yep.
And I live that with my life to a T. 3 Christmases ago, I'd go to see one family in the morning, but then leave early because I gotta go squat, and then I'll go see the other family whenever I'm done at the gym.
So the key thing about Sam though is he cautiously, in knowing these guys for a couple of years, they're very cautious about who they hang around. So, it's not an accident that that they're Carlo and Sam, or even myself, we're doing the best we can, but we're prospering in our relationships and our marriages because we're surrounding ourselves with people that have what we want. You know what I mean? And if you're around people that are pulling you down, they have a toxic marriage or relationship, well, you're gonna soon get down into that position if you don't quickly change your circle of people that stretch you, people that purposely make you feel uncomfortable, in a good way, because you're where they want.
They're where you want.
They're where you want to be, And
Yeah.
trying to say,
I mean, I don't have a lot of single friends anymore. I still have a few, but I actual serious friends that I see all the time. I just don't.
Yeah.
And it's weird how that's worked out.
It's kind of like what you're saying, Sam, about that. If you're on your deathbed someday, you're not going to be thinking about the gym stuff.
I'm not going to be thinking about
You're
that.
gonna be thinking about
remember that time? Remember
that time you
900
didn't spend
squat.
with your family,
Yeah.
or that's what you're going to regret. So you're right. I think having a healthy balance like that.
Well, and then I started prioritizing my relationships and my friends, my family, and all that kind of stuff. And guess what? My total went up.
Right.
I enjoy training more.
Because
Yeah.
it's like you're healthy. You're making all aspects of your life healthy. It's gonna make you better, probably.
I don't want, and the gym. And if I have a bad training session, doesn't ruin the rest of my day anymore. I don't go home and not talk to my wife because I'm upset that I missed my top set.
I didn't get 700.
You know, it is what it is at this point. And I found a lot more growth because
you guys.
I've just prioritized like the happiness of my life and those around me more, and I think it's definitely helped the gym. So just be fucking happy.
But then also being around other people, like you're saying. So, like, you want to surround yourself with people like I can see where if your wife might get mad if you start hanging with a bunch of single dudes who are around a bunch of, and she would be right to be mad about it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, well, you're gonna start acting like them because you're around them, and it's true. You do.
All of my like close circle they're all married, engaged, or in a pretty long term. Like of my like really like closer like the people that I see every week.
Yep.
And
like,
it rubs off.
All of them are. And
you mean you're not going to the club?
No, dude. Bro. Fuck that. I am never going to a fucking club again in my entire goddamn life. That was the most miserable experience of my whole life, and I felt like I was gonna die.
Which club? Just you
didn't want to go to Ray?
There was for a friend's birthday we went to a
some people love that shit.
Yeah, I thought I was gonna die. No joke. I thought I was having a heart attack. Yeah. I went out for a friend's birthday. And this was my gift to them was being willing to do this because I don't.
If you're not into it, it's tough.
I don't do it. We went to a nice dinner and then we went to a Latin club, which and my wife loves to dance with friends and that kind of stuff. So that was also like for her.
Yes.
And I know she wants me to be there.
Yeah.
So, but for the first hour of me being there, the vibration of the music is killing me. My whole chest is just vibrating.
Tough guys don't dance.
I didn't leave that table. I didn't leave. If we wouldn't have been at a table, I would have.
EDC.
I would have left and gone back to the hotel. Yeah. Like I sat at that table, and people just kept feeding me drinks.
Yeah,
so I would calm down because my anxiety was through the roof. And I very much enjoyed watching everybody have fun. I'm never doing that ever again.
Those are anxiety things sometimes, though. If you're in that crowd,
and I'm not an anxious person.
Yeah.
I'm a very they both. I am not an anxious person. I am very chill and calm, and I don't get worked up very easily like that. And I was sitting there going like.
Damn, that bad. Okay.
Oh, dude, it was.
I was gonna say I get some social anxiety sometimes. Like, I could be more comfortable like wrestling in front of a huge group of people than being amongst a big group of people.
I have no problem. I love public speaking.
Like being in front of them is fine.
I've been hired as an MC for powerlifting. Man.
Yeah.
Like I have no problem being on a microphone.
So that's chill.
In front of 200 people I've never met in my entire life.
Being in a club with all that loud music and
fuck
lights and
that.
shit. Okay.
Never ever again.
Well, that's a testament to how much how much love you show her, right?
Yeah.
So.
Oh, I told her, I was like, I hope you enjoyed this because I'm never fucking doing this ever again. This is the one.
That's like somebody who's a spouse who's not even in the industry of bodybuilding or powerlifting and they're supporting you. So
that's Lorraine.
That's just showing your love.
I was like, this is your one. This is your one. And I told that friend too, I was like, this is your one.
Yeah.
So it was equally for my wife and the friend. And I'm like, this is never again. And they knew. They looked at me and they just looked at me and they're like,
this is your one.
Yeah, they're like, Sam's not.
You guys don't have like a one. Do you guys have like a one like famous person you'd let each other cheat on each other with? I would let. Like if C-Bum came up, you're like, you know what? Fucking have fun.
She can have Henry Cavill or Jason Momoa.
Yeah, you can't blame her. Come on, bro. Superman or fucking Aquaman?
I'm kidding.
Nah, dude.
Did she give you a freebie though?
Same two guys.
Same two bros, dude.
Oh my god.
No.
This time I'm taking the underwear.
No. We don't really talk about that a whole lot, but it's always the joke, like Henry Cavill or Jason Momoa. But for me, did you ever watch Underworld?
Oh, are you talking about what's her name?
Kate Beckinsale.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That was always the one.
She's the freebie. I'm gonna dress like a sexy vampire too.
Yeah, and I just the leather, the vampire shit, and I fucking love vampires and shit. So like that just.
What's your favorite vampire show?
It was Pearl Harbor.
Favorite vampire show?
I had that paranormal girl on here, and she was talking about like vampires and shit.
I love vampires. Favorite vampire show?
I'm like, think about back in the day, there were dudes just like staking dead bodies for saying I'm a vampire killer and shit.
I got favorite vampire books.
Nothing in the movie.
I don't know.
What are the books, dude?
I like the Chronicles of Vladimir Todd.
Okay,
that's a very like kind of more modern day book series, which is really cool.
Hell yeah.
I don't really like a lot of vampire shows.
Are you into it?
Twilight.
Or are you both into it?
I've read and watched all of
Twilight.
Twilight.
When I had that fucking dude on here that's had like a 70-some win fight record in Muay Thai and boxing, like badass dude.
Yeah.
We're like, what American shit? Because I had to have a translator.
It's like Twilight.
He was like, he couldn't really say. He's like, and it took like, she was like, Twilight? He's like, yeah. He's like, I like Jacob.
Yeah.
And we're all like,
oh yeah, bro.
I'm like, so your team fucking werewolf, bro?
Yeah.
And it took, like, he's like older now, so he's like, still doing Muay Thai training, and he's like,
have this guy on.
Yeah, and he's got
Good
pictures
for
of him with like a cardboard cutout of Jacob.
Good
like,
for him.
Fuck yeah,
Fuck
dude.
yeah, dude. But no, she likes True Blood, and I fucking hate True Blood.
Yeah, some of them vampire shows are not
Yeah.
Lorraine likes horror movies.
Huh?
I love
See,
horror
I
movies,
can't watch. Chelsea
So-
won't let me watch them.
So my thing is, if you're gonna go that far, we might as well watch Dahmer, and we might as well.
I'd watch. I gotta finish.
It's like,
that
yeah,
one.
but that's real. That really happened.
Oh,
So
she
could
can't watch
this.
that.
No, Chelsea.
That Dahmer show was
Chelsea
too
hates,
much.
She hates horror stuff. I'm not allowed to watch it.
Have you seen?
Do
those
you
videos?
like it?
Have you
I
seen
love
those
it.
videos?
Oh, I fucking love.
I love a
horror,
good
dude.
slasher movie, dude.
Yeah.
An old
The
school.
Saw.
The cheap old
Oh,
ones.
Oh,
Texas Chainsaw.
No, Halloween.
I like the cheap old ones.
Mike-
They suck, but they just had like
Oh, yeah,
a lot of
they're super
teen
good.
sex, titties,
Yeah.
and shit.
That's
blood,
my
guts.
shit. Yeah, that's good stuff. That's good stuff. Old Nightmare.
Like, you always knew they were gonna die if they were fucking.
Yeah.
You know?
This is classic.
Yeah, that's the
Like,
key part. You know, you walk into a dark alley and where it's dark and nobody's there. That's like the classic old school. You know?
Hey, man,
It's like,
Michael
don't go in
Myers
there.
is my shit. Michael Myers. is my
I always
shit.
kind of like those like parodies, like Scary Movie and shit back in the day, dude. Those are so funny. If you watch
Scary
it now,
movie,
Is that-
epic movie.
Is that Jamie Wayans?
I don't know.
Oh, it's the Wayans brothers, dude.
Yeah.
They're so funny in that.
It's a good if you never watched it, you would love it. It's Tucker and Dale versus Evil.
I think I've heard of it.
It's not a spoof movie, but it is a play on horror.
Yeah.
It's basically like two hillbillies buy this cabin.
Oh, it's always some hillbillies.
They go, but they're nice.
Okay.
They're really nice guys. It's just circumstance. And these college kids go up to camp in the same place that they bought the cabin, and they're just working on the cabin. But
so they're not even trying to be.
But the
hillbillies.
the college kids think that they're trying to kill them.
They're like, no, I swear I'm not. We're just here hanging
They
out.
think the college kids think they're
'Cause
trying
they
to
think
kill
they're
them.
in, like, one
So
standard
because
horror
they're
movie.
so scared, they accidentally
Kill themselves.
Get themselves killed. Like one of them is running away because he's got bees all over him, and
Dude.
he thinks he's chasing him, and he runs right into a tree.
He's like, I'm not
and it just
chasing you.
impales
I have
him.
to see this.
And he's like,
That's fucking genius.
it's so good. It's so
So
good.
the kids have seen so many like horror movies
Yeah.
where like the fucking hillbillies have like the hills.
Oh
have
yeah,
eyes
and
shit.
it gets terrible because then a cop shows up and the cop accidentally dies, and it's so bad, but it's so good.
That's like a dark comedy or whatever.
Yeah,
That's
it's so
shit.
funny. It's one of my favorite movies ever.
That's like that White Lotus shows, like that dark comedy kind
Yeah.
of pretty funny shit.
Is that what your day nights consist of? Horror movies?
Date night was on Christmas, and we drank 3 bottles of champagne and watched Harry Potter.
Ooh, that's a good Christmas thing to watch.
That was date night recently.
What did you guys do? Did you guys watch any Christmas movies? That's all I did. I didn't get to go.
What's your
home.
favorite Christmas
You
movie?
can never go wrong with Home Alone.
What's your favorite Christmas
Classic.
movie?
Dude, mine's just always gonna be Christmas Vacation.
Yes, thank you.
Is that National Lampoon?
Dude, yeah.
You heard it here first.
Chevy Chase.
I can't help it.
That
Like,
is
I
the
watch it every year, and when I watch it, I actually forget how funny it is.
Hey, Haley, if you're listening, that's another vote for National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Bro, I started watching it this
Thank
Your
you
year.
very
parents
much.
made you watch it.
No, I fucking love that movie.
No, he's like cutting down the tree, and the neighbors are out there.
What are you gonna
And-
do with that?
What are you
do with that?
What are you gonna do with that?
Bend
He's like,
over,
bend over, and
bend over,
I'll
I'll
show
show
you.
you.
That's
You
your
got a lot of
favorite.
nerve talking to me like that. I wasn't
I
talking
wasn't
to
talking
you.
to you. That's the best part.
I watched that movie probably a dozen times this month.
That line really stuck out because I forgot it when he
Yeah,
tells her like,
I
I
love
wasn't
that
talking
movie.
to you. It's-
Love that movie.
So Christmas movies is how you satisfy your date nights.
That's how you satisfy a woman.
She likes holiday movies, bro. Like, what do you expect? My bad.
Is there movies that you that she watches that you're like
Like Sex in the City or some shit.
You know I'm only watching this because I love you, right?
Not movies. TV shows, yes.
Like Grey's Anatomy or some shit.
No, she watches the Kardashians. It pisses me the fuck off.
What?
The Kardashians.
Is it
Yeah.
Is that the booty thing? Is that because she wants to?
Because they got fake booties.
I don't know why she
Kardashians?
And then, they're still going on. And then Home Improvement shows.
No wonder she wants to do
Oh,
wellness.
yeah, those-
Yeah.
She
Those
watches
are
the Kardashians.
terrible.
I want an ass like that.
She's gotten me into a couple things though. Like when she was watching The Bachelorette, and I couldn't I was playing on my computer, and I look over.
You're like, oh, not him.
The
And then, and I'd be like, no, not him. And then I eventually sat down and started watching it with her. And then I called it. I predicted who was
You
going to
can't
win.
help
Yeah.
sometimes you get sucked
I was
into
like,
that
100%
shit,
it's going to be this guy.
I
And it
got
was.
sucked
They
into
got married.
Yellowstone.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yellowstone's great.
Yellowstone is ruthless, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's
Good
like
show.
classic ruthless
You gotta watch The
entrepreneurship.
Boys. You gotta watch The
That'll
Boys.
make
Yeah.
you a better entrepreneur, won't it?
Yeah.
Because you get that
I'm
cutthroat
like,
shit. You're like,
dang.
I'm like fucking, what's the dude's name?
I need to change my approach. Just kidding.
John,
No,
what's his
it's-
name? John Dunbar.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
fuck yeah, dude.
Kevin
Costner, baby.
That's some good
OG.
stuff. Yeah.
Whitney Houston sang that song. too.
We are up till 5 a.m. watching Yellowstone. It's like no more episodes. We gotta go to bed. Like one more.
One more.
Oh my
Always
god.
And ended up,
It's hard.
Ended up being 6 episodes in 4 hours
It's a long show.
or
too.
whatever. So
Dude, those shows are built to make you addicted.
Mhm.
It's
Cliffhanger.
crazy.
Watch The Boys if you haven't.
The Boys is for sure.
The Boys is
Dude, does anybody like Wednesday, or am I the only?
Ah,
am I the only
shit.
grown adult male
No.
that likes that shit?
I love my daughter, but she was watching that too, and then
Dude, I
Chelsea's
fucking-
watching that too.
I love that show.
She watched the whole thing on her flight home
The
from
Addams Family.
Florida.
I think I've watched
I've-
it twice.
yeah.
I've never been
Family.
in. I've never been into the Addams Family or Tim Burton stuff before, so it's just kind
It's not your
of.
thing.
It's not.
I'll watch Tim Burton stuff. You know, like maybe like Batman.
Oh, the Batman
with,
Tim Burtons were the best.
Michael
dude.
Michael Keaton and
Is that the new one?
Jack.
No, Michael Keaton's like the OG
Yeah,
Batman.
outta here. You had him going for a second.
So basically,
you had me going.
So what I'm talking about is 5 years before you were born, bro.
Dude, what's your favorite Michael Keaton Batman? The first one or Batman Returns with the Penguin and Catwoman? Because that's
No.
basically a Christmas adjacent movie. You can watch that Christmas because it takes place on
I don't know,
Christmas.
man. Jack Nicholson
Remember
is
he like
just.
throws the fucking thing and the bats come out and the chick falls onto the tree
I
line.
love them both, man. But Jack Nicholson
He's
is
so
just
good.
so hard to. If it wasn't for Jack Nicholson, it would be the Penguin one.
Yeah.
But because of Jack Nicholson Joker, I
That
just-
first one was pretty fucking.
Jack Nicholson's the best Joker.
Kim
in my
Basinger.
opinion.
yeah,
Kim Basinger?
Yeah, basically.
yeah, but you
Yeah,
know,
the Prince music in there. You know?
I'm a little more partial. I'm a little more partial to the Batman that came after that.
Well,
Who
so
are you talking about?
wait, not
What
Not
actor?
Clooney.
not Val Kilmer or George
No,
Clooney.
I love Val Kilmer.
I actually love Val Kilmer as Batman.
Val Kilmer is one of my favorite actors.
That was the one that it started going towards that goofy shit with the Clooney
Yeah.
one, but it was still enough of a
Well,
solid movie.
it had Carrey in it. It had Jim Carrey.
Oh, he was the great Riddler.
Yeah, it had Robert De Niro.
That would have been right at your time too,
Yeah.
when you were like a kid.
Oh yeah, that was my dad's favorite movie.
Dude, that had a soundtrack too. Remember Seal, Kiss
Yeah.
from a Rose,
And
bro?
then I love that. I love that song. And then
That's opposing.
I hate-
There's so much a man can tell you.
I hate
so
I
much
hate
you
I hate
can
George
say.
Clooney though.
That's
I
your next
can't
classic.
stand
Who's
him.
hitting that high note? You.
I was listening to the metal
My
version of that.
power, my pleasure, my pain, baby. Sorry.
So that's
I got taken by
so you gotta do classic now. You can't just do Men's Physique, bro.
Oh, dude.
So
what?
and you gotta sing the lyrics while you're doing it.
But Val Kilmer is one of my favorite actors, but he's my favorite movie, Tombstone.
Dude,
So just
when
I
he
know
was
it's-
Batman, bro.
I know it's the whitest fucking movie of all time. I don't care, Mark. You probably never seen it.
Dude,
The
Tombstone's
whitest
good, but
movie
Val
ever.
Kilmer was fucking
yeah,
the great.
Whitest-
He was at the height of his career during
Wyatt
Batman.
Wyatt
Wyatt Earp.
And he's like
I
drunk
think
the
I've
whole
watched
time, bro.
bits and
It's
pieces
with
of
Kurt
He's-
Russell. It's got an all-star
yeah,
cast.
Kurt Russell.
Sam Elliott, Val Kilmer. It's got just an absolutely.
We'll have a
insane
movie.
it.
cast.
We'll
Is
do a
when
watch
VHS
along.
was out?
Yes.
Oh, gotcha.
This
You
is
know
like
what, Mark? Next time we do this podcast,
So-
we'll do a watch along. I'll
So,
set up the
Which
TV.
reminds me, when you're having your date nights, are you watching chick flicks?
You have to, right?
What's your favorite chick flick?
what classifies as a chick?
How to
flick?
Lose a Guy in 10 Days.
Oh,
Yes.
That's a good one.
She
I actually
really,
like that one.
she really likes.
The Val?
No, just go with it.
Not The Notebook.
I don't know.
No, no.
Oh,
it's too
hell
sad.
no.
That shit's
Not-
too sad.
Hey,
Nah.
so here I love that movie, but here's the problem. I just hate the way they end.
With
So-
with Adam Sandler. Are you talking about no?
Oh, his chick flicks are good, though.
Adam Sandler.
Dude, some of
I'm
Adam
talking about
Sandler's...
just go with it.
Oh, I thought you meant The Notebook.
No.
Oh, The Notebook's sad, dude.
I don't know what I would because I don't know what I would say I've watched that's a chick flick. I just don't know what to classify as a chick flick.
It's like a rom-com.
How about
Okay.
how about any Salma Hayek or
I liked
Matthew?
the Proposal.
Oh, that's,
That's
what's
good.
her name?
Ryan Reynolds and Sandra Bullock.
Sandra Bullock.
That's
good
a
one.
She's
good
keeping
one.
it together.
That's a good one.
That's a good one.
Not gonna lie, I watched that during prep.
I'm not surprised.
Why is that?
Dude, I'm gonna
It
watch
makes me laugh. It
all
lowers
that shit
cortisol
on my
levels.
phone when I'm doing cardio.
That was a good one. Yeah, I'd say that's probably my favorite. If it was for chick flicks,
I
Yeah.
can't. Oh, Pretty Woman.
I've seen Pretty Woman.
Dude,
Oh, Pretty
she's a
Woman's good.
prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't think prostitutes were
My
real.
mom really liked Devil Wears Prada.
We watched
Meryl
that. We
Streep.
watched that once a week.
She's
So,
a classic OG.
Man, if
baddie.
you can't, I mean that's a movie about developing thick ass skin.
Yeah.
So
Is that
especially
Devil Wears
uh,
Prada?
That was my mom's
That's like
favorite
seeing
movie.
that's like seeing a coach. One of those coaches that they just don't know how to give their clients a compliment. You know what I mean?
Is that because Meryl Streep is such a like?
she could be a
hardcore?
bodybuilder? She could be a bodybuilder
Oh yeah,
coach.
dude. Meryl Streep could run the fucking world
Dude,
if
she's
she
an
wanted
OG
to.
baddie. Come on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably one of the greatest.
Her along with what's that? Who's the one woman that went to prison?
Oh, you're talking about Martha Stewart.
Martha
Yeah,
Stewart.
Martha Stewart. Yeah.
That's
Dude, she's a baddie.
She's hardcore, dude. Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. She's.
Shania Twain's a baddie.
They did a roast. They did the roast
you
of
see her
Justin.
lately?
They did a roast of Justin Bieber, and they were like, Shaq, Snoop Dogg, and Ludacris are all on the stage, and Martha Stewart's done the most jail
What
time.
movie is this?
This is a roast.
Dude,
The roast.
it's
They-
true.
They roasted They roasted
And she,
Justin Bieber.
She didn't like tattle on it.
They had 4 rappers on stage, and like 4 rappers on stage, and the one who's done the most jail time is Martha Stewart.
that nice little old white lady.
Yeah.
She's done hard.
Oh, she probably ran that shit when she was.
Bro.
She was probably making toilet
She's
wine.
cool too, like the way she's got like that friendship with Snoop Dogg.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the best
They
fucking
crack
thing
jokes
ever.
together.
Like Snoop Dogg has literally been on trial for murder,
Yeah,
and Martha
murder
Stewart
was the case.
and Martha Stewart has done more jail time than him. That's
That's
insane.
crazy, dude.
Yeah, a lot of
Well,
people. New generation.
that was that.
New generation forgets that people like Snoop Dogg literally have killed people.
Oh damn.
Yeah,
I think it was fiction.
He did. He
yeah.
did.
Well, there's Snoop Dogg.
He has that song. Murder was the
Yeah,
case.
There's
Snoop
al-
Dogg,
there's also-
Dr. Dre,
There's also a deep cover.
Ice Cube. All those people have killed people, and they're like Ice Cube is like a fucking.
Dude, I listen to him
sweetheart.
all the time.
I was just watching 22 Jump Street with him in it. It was hilarious.
22 or 21.
22.
There's a 22 jump street.
Yes, it's the second one, the biggest.
Man,
That came out like 6 years ago, dog.
that's blasphemous.
It's
21 Jump Street.
Yeah, and they did 22 Jump Street as a play on 21, so it was the
So
second
are any
one.
of the old characters from that?
They were in 21. The new 21, Johnny Depp and his partner, the two original guys from 21 Jump Street, were in it.
Oh, Sam, what's your favorite OG horror movie then? Because you just
Halloween.
reminded me of Freddy Krueger with
Halloween.
Johnny Depp.
Michael Myers. Halloween.
Michael Myers Halloween, the OG.
How come you didn't use that for a bodybuilding routine then? Michael Myers.
Oh yeah, what is that song? That's like
Put
yeah.
a Halloween mask on.
Gee, why didn't I do this one specific thing as my bodybuilding routine 8 years ago? I don't know.
Only time you ever competed.
Yeah, the only one time I ever competed when I was 17. Sorry,
Oh, you
I
gotta
picked a
get
song
that.
that motivated me, Mark.
So yeah, I was gonna ask you about that.
Get
So
that Michael Myers mask.
when you were bodybuilding, you guys weren't together yet, but you guys went to high school together, right?
We dated in high school, and we.
And you broke up.
That's good.
So what was the?
You need that time.
What made you come back together? Was it bodybuilding?
No.
Oh, you look good. I look
Yeah,
good.
that shit
No.
breathe a
You
little
really,
bit.
you really
Come
want
back
the lowdown? You really want the story?
Let's see it, because you know,
I woke
we
up-
get on that subject
I
of
woke
how
up in the
spouses
hospital.
support each other.
I woke up in the hospital.
What?
I woke up in the hospital.
What did you do?
I don't know. I woke up in the hospital.
Were you drunk?
I don't know.
Did you come from a rave?
I don't.
Definitely
know.
not a
All
club.
I know is the last thing I remember was I collapsed at work.
Holy shit.
Don't know why. Woke up.
There's no reason for this.
Woke up and she was no. They did every scan on me possible. They did a CAT scan. They did an X-ray. They did MRI. Everything. Nothing.
So you met her when she...
No. So we dated in high school
Mhm.
and broke up in high school, and then there was some stuff back and forth for a couple of years, and then she started dating another guy, and we didn't really talk after that.
Mhm.
I didn't date anybody after her. Like, I still saw people and slept around. So I had a hoe phase, and I was
Yeah.
a little man slut, and that's fine.
That's what he was selling his
I
own
didn't
ranch.
have another. Right. I didn't have another serious relationship after that, and we were together for about 7 months
Yeah.
in high school, and we just dumb teen drama. We just broke up for dumb shit, and
Yeah.
I woke up, and for whatever reason, she was the first person I thought about. So I knew she was in the medical field. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna use this just to break the ice. I just messaged her, and I was like, hey, this is what happened. Do you have any idea what happened? Little did I know she's a fucking receptionist. So it's like, no, she didn't know
That was your-
anything.
You
that
just
was your-
wanted the
that was
connection.
that
Yeah.
was the move you wanted.
Yeah.
That was the
Um, And then her grandma came and found me at work a couple months later, asked me how things were going, talked, because her family always loved me. And then after that, she started telling me about her current relationship.
Yeah.
This guy had cheated on her a lot, treated her really badly, and they'd been together for like 3 years, and she doesn't have a way out.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, that pissed me off, because like cheating and kind of that kind of stuff, I have a really hard stance on that, and no zero tolerance, any of that. So it pissed me off, because at the very least, I'm like, I don't want her to go through that bullshit. So a couple months keep going by, and then I post some dumb shit on Facebook that's just talking about, like, oh, post the sign, like some random weird shit. Post the astrological sign that fucked you up the most. And I posted hers, which was a Scorpio.
Yeah.
And I was still friends with her sister on Facebook.
And
So her sister messaged me, and she was like, what the fuck? And I was like, what do you mean, what the fuck? And she's like, why'd you say that? And I was like, do you not know all the shit that happened? And she's like, I guess not. So I explained everything to her, and she was like, so you sounds like you still care about her. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I guess so. And so her sister kind of vouched for me pretty hard. And then we just started talking more again. And we started meeting up. She was still in a relationship. We never did anything while she was still in a relationship, respected that. But we just started talking about stuff and everything. And I just basically laid it all out on the line. I was like, look, leave this guy. Come with me. I'm in it for life. That's it. Like, the goal is to marry you, have a family, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever
You're
you
the
want.
real thing.
That's it. That's like, this is what, like, if you leave him and you come with me, like, that's it. Like, I'm with you I'm in it for the long haul, and this is it, rest of my life. And she did break up with him, and then here we are.
Yeah.
Married. Yeah.
It's meant to be, dude.
Yeah.
how have you been able to, like, was it hard to Like when did she decide to compete on her own, or you encouraged her to do it?
She had an interest in it, and I definitely encouraged it. I was like, yeah, this is a really good thing for you to do. Because she had always been, like, she did sports in high school and everything, but after she got out of high school, she just got way, like, it was part of their relationship, too, was boyfriend didn't work, and then in a bad roommate situation, so she was working so much, not eating well, all that stuff, and just not in good shape. So she got mad at herself for not being in good shape.
Gotcha.
So she started working out again and everything. And, you know, I was still involved in shows at that point, and close with those previous coaches that she had. And they started mixing, and she started to show some interest. So I'm like, yeah, do it. Why not? Yeah. And she did it. And she just, despite having a bad experience with coaches in prep, her mental fortitude and her attitude is one of the things I'm the most proud of for her. Is she just does not get down on herself. She just continues to be motivated by it. But despite all of that, she still was like, I love this. This is really fun, and I want to keep doing it. And, you know, she wants to do well, and she wants to push it and everything like that. But she also just likes doing it. And she loves posing. She fucking loves it. She does it all the time.
Yeah.
So it was like there wasn't any push. There was definitely encouragement, but it was like, if you want to do this, do it. Because I hold her accountable with everything. It's like when she's complaining about, like, oh, I want to eat this, I want candy, I got a headache, blah, blah. I'm like, you fucking chose to do this.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gonna be here, I'm gonna help you any way I can, but I don't feel bad for you.
Yeah.
It's like I suffered through this shit too, and I decided I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You've done this 4 times now. Sorry.
Was it the same for Paula?
As far as like pushing her to work compete.
Since you guys are both athletes.
Not exactly. I think her just going to the posing classes and just supporting me, I think she's got motivated to wanting to do it. So
it seems glamorous from the outside looking in, and especially seeing probably how happy you were after the process was over. It's like, I want some of that, and I think I can do that.
right.
No.
Do you think it's strengthened your guys' relationship?
It did, because we had to definitely communicate and communicate our feelings and stuff.
Yeah.
And I mean, at first, like when you're so close to the show, you're just so tired, and you don't even want to walk up the stairs. I don't want to do anything. You just want to lay down and just be lazy, right? Because you're just so exhausted. And she didn't understand that in the beginning before she went on prep. And then after going through prep, she's like, yeah.
Now I get it.
Now she gets it.
Because
Yeah.
that was the benefit of me doing it first and so long ago and being around it so much was like everything she was feeling was like I didn't get upset. It was like I get it. It sucks. I know it sucks. Yeah, you're 3 weeks out. This fucking blows.
Yeah.
Sorry, you gotta do it. You know, eat that fucking chicken. I know it tastes like shit. Do it. You gotta do it. We're sitting here and not going to bed until you eat it.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I was proud of her for getting on stage too. She'd get up at like 5 in the morning and actually do her cardio. For me, I'm like, yeah, I'll get up at 5 in the morning and do cardio with you. And I'm like, no.
Well, she also didn't. I also think it was she didn't want to disappoint you. And I know that's like, and I know you're like, there's no way she could. 0 way she could.
And everybody's
But she didn't want you. You did it first, and you're really the reason that she did it. So she's like, oh, I gotta at least, even if I don't do well, I gotta put my all into this. If I don't, then, you know, what was it even worth it, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
It's probably good having, you know, a spouse or being in a couple where you kind of both do it. At least you can relate to each other.
I think it's great. It's weird for us because we have 2 different preps.
Yeah, big time, yeah.
Because for her, like, they're both challenging mentally, but she doesn't really have a hard time with the eating. Like, she eats everything, no problem. It's not really that big of a deal. It's the cravings that she has a really hard time with. And then getting tired.
Like you said, you get down that lean, your brain starts doing weird shit.
Tired and cravings are really bad for her. And then for me, it's like physical pain. And that kind of stuff is like, man.
Well, you said when you're training, the amount of weight you put on is like, it's got to be a little scary at some point of the training.
It's getting
it's
better.
Just necessary.
It's getting better the stronger I get. But yeah, there's a lot of times where I'm like, oh shit, man. this could be
We're
it.
doing this, yeah.
This could be it. You know, quad might pop, the pec might go out, but it's on the program. Gotta fucking do it. Sucks.
It's always a risk.
Yeah,
So,
but yeah, we definitely because I can eat whatever I want. My food and everything is still very structured, but if I want some Wendy's on
You
the
can
way,
fit it in.
if I want some Wendy's on the way home, I can have some fucking Wendy's.
She can.
But she
if
can't.
it fits your macro.
So a lot of that is I'm gonna try to eat this before she gets home,
Yeah.
so she doesn't have to eat.
So they have to see you doing
it,
it,
smell
it's
it.
like torture.
Well, it also keeps me good.
Yeah.
When she's on prep, I eat better
Right.
because we'll
You want to support it.
like I never eat chicken, but when she's on prep, I eat chicken
Yeah.
because she makes it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that's the thing when I'm on prep, and the other half is usually watching what you're doing. She gets more motivated to be on point herself. When you're leading by example, you can't just eat donuts on the couch and not. I mean, you don't have to be a bodybuilder. I mean, just be conscious about what you're putting in your mouth.
Unless it's Christmas.
Of course, it's Christmas.
Dude, I bought a pack of dark chocolate Oreos a
Yeah.
month ago and I haven't touched them.
Yeah.
Damn, that's willpower.
Yeah.
I just haven't wanted to. I just normally oh yeah, I'll sit on the couch, grab a glass of milk, and eat some cookies and stuff and hang out. But no, it's I could just go grab another meal.
Yeah.
I'll eat my meal and it'll just be done.
It's like when Lorraine cooks or
Yeah.
Bakes. Everybody's like, "How do you do it?" It's easy. If I eat what she's cooking right now, I am going to not place.
Right.
So that's how I look at it.
Yeah.
And one of my other athletes was, I think it was 2017.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna name this person, but we were in Vancouver, and I was talking to one of my guys. This guy just slowly slips away, and he's making waffles and pancakes right in front of my face. And I literally had to stop the conversation. I go, "Hey,
Bruh.
stop. Hold on. What are you doing, dude?" Figured I'd trade waffles from rice to waffles or pancakes. I'm like, "Bro, you don't even look that good.
Rice to bread.
You don't
Yeah,
look that
okay.
good." And he posted himself, right? He posted this himself at some point. And one of my other athletes I knew was going to compete against him, so I used it as a tool to kind of motivate him a little bit. I was like, "Hey, this guy wants to eat waffles and pancakes. What do you think that looks like?"
Shit.
It looks like last call outs. You're not going to place.
Yeah.
And then he turned bright red. He was all mad.
Yeah.
And whatever. And he posted it as a permanent post on video. It's like, my coach thinks this looks like last place. So, you know what? This is going in the garbage. So, and he literally
Good.
He came back from the brink.
Yeah.
Well, and then with the
Came back from the edge.
you looking at the pastries and going yeah, that looks like I'm gonna place lower if I eat that. All three of us, we have a pretty different mindset. You just have to tell yourself you got to do it. Don't give yourself.
You just
a
don't give
choice.
yourself an option.
Yeah.
That's what I found works the best.
Exactly. And you have a very similar mindset too. It's for me, with work and stuff when I was still working a normal job and stuff, it was I'm not eating enough before training,
Yeah.
so it's get up an hour earlier and eat, or let training suffer. I would much rather have that extra fucking hour, but I need that food.
Does she prep your food, or you do it on your own?
I do it all on my own.
Gotcha.
We'll both cook each other's stuff, but I will put it in my own Tupperware and portion my own stuff out.
The reason why I asked that is because there's some, competitors and friends of mine was like, "Did your wife cook all your stuff?" And I need to be with somebody who cooks my stuff. And I'm like, no.
We swap.
No. I'm like, I don't want her touching my food, to be honest with you. So, there was one point in prep, 20 years ago, and I didn't like how I felt talking to, Lorraine
Yeah.
when I was in prep. So I was like, you know what? I'll take the reins. I don't want to have to, ask every single question. What did you put in there?
Yeah.
What did you put in the rice?
It's
What'd
just
you
better
put
for your own
Did
mind.
you put pepper in there? Did you put sugar in there?
Yeah.
Did you put butter in there? and I didn't want to have that conversation anymore, you know.
Right.
So now if I win, it's my fault,
Yeah.
and if I lose, it's my fault. So
Yeah.
and you know, only when I'm in a pinch now does she prep my food. She's probably prepped my food like 20 times in the last 22 years.
So the good thing for me is like I can add whatever I need to whatever she makes to make it equal what I need. If I need more fat, I'll throw cheese in there or butter or whatever.
Olive oil.
Yeah, if I need more carbs, throw extra rice on there. If I need more protein, like I usually mash
Not quinoa.
like everything. No.
Quinoa, yeah.
All of my meals
Canola?
with rice and a meat have
Yeah.
eggs in them now. Like everything is like
Dude, I love eggs.
200 or 300 grams of rice
Yeah.
with 2 eggs and then beef, chicken, or whatever, all mashed together. And then with her, like we just cook, so like we'll just cook everything plain. And then if I want it, I can add what I need to it to make it the way it needs to
So
be.
it's like sometimes you'll cook together, but it's like you're
Yeah.
not putting that on her as in like
No.
you're my slave, please treat.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Oh,
you
she,
know, like-
if she wants
Yeah.
to, cook,
Yes.
you know, like a lot of times she'll be cooking her chicken and the turkey at the same time. She'll be like, "Hey, do you want me to cook your ground beef too?"
Yeah.
Like, yeah,
Sure.
because she's already doing it. But like I do, so like she'll do like a lot of the bulk cooking. Like she'll do like
You
the
both
ground,
help each other.
foods and the chicken and stuff. Where I will do like the steaks, the salmon, the breakfast stuff, all that kind of stuff. That's where so we kind of like swap back and forth. The tastier stuff I cook.
Do you guys do the same? Do you one has a
No, we-
designated responsibility?
Carlo definitely.
No,
You
cooks.
tell her to make you a sandwich.
Carlo definitely cooks.
It was what was it?
I like making.
It was a
my own.
pizza
Yeah.
bun with donuts as the.
Yes.
That was you guys.
We gotta do that again. I think
I feel like making food for people is like a really rewarding.
I love it. That's
Like
why
you grill something for somebody,
It's
or I know like
not-
Christmas, like my friend made a bunch of food and she got so
I
much
cooked.
out of feeding.
I cooked
everybody.
Christmas. I cooked Christmas brunch for 17 people.
It makes you feel great, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I love it.
yeah,
I love it.
yeah.
The biggest ego flex you can ever give me is tell me my food tasted great.
Yeah.
I cook you something, you're just like, dude, that tastes so good. I'm
Dude,
like,
what's
I'm
your
like,
special?
oh, steaks.
That's awesome because
Steaks.
dang, no one would want to eat what I cook.
Steak is my
Chicken.
100% go-to. I have a method to how I cook my steaks, and it's
Artiste.
and the way I have done it. A lot of my friends have switched to cooking their steaks that way.
Yeah.
I have a specific way that I do it that I figured out, and that is my like go-to thing that I do. Is steaks.
Perfection every time.
Tri-tip, best cut.
Tried to. Ooh, rib steak's good too.
Yeah, I saw some A5 Wagyu at Business Costco today.
So I'll eat the fat of the fat.
Oh, you like the fat?
No,
hell yeah!
I like that. I
I
like.
like it's really crispy, I do, but
Sorry,
if it's like blubbery,
I like.
I like the heart attacks.
No, tri-tip or nice fillet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, some people would do that, and they're like, they
Fuck,
put
I
the
want
fat aside. I'm like, dude, I'm not prepping. Give me all that.
I need steak.
I'll take all that shit.
I need steak.
It's like, you're gonna get a heart attack.
No.
Not if I eat it 1 or 2 times a year.
Some
Sushi's,
saturated fat's good for you though.
yeah, sushi's the big one right now.
Sushi's delicious.
I mean, I eat sushi twice a week right now,
Yeah, at a sushi ring.
and a good 40 to 50 piece
See,
average.
that's an all-you-can-eat place.
Yeah.
That's like,
Well,
You're like The
I
Rock with his cheat meals, just like.
I do that either on. Well,
I'm a-
he can fucking put it down too. Like
Sushi.
I've seen him eat some shit that I'm just like, bruh, like fuck.
He's got that
Where are you
metabolism.
storing all that?
Oh my god, dude! When you ate 4 bowls of that, fucking
what is it?
when we went to that Mexican restaurant after a show with Lorraine, me, you, and everybody showed up late afterwards. And you ordered 4 like bowls, but without the carbs.
What show?
I don't remember what show it was. It had to be either the Iron Man or an E-Cup.
What was it?
You ate a ton, dude.
We
Oh,
ate-
was it ceviche?
I think so. We ate there, and then we went to another place to eat after
Oh, because I
that.
was not full enough.
Yeah, because they showed up late,
Yeah.
and so we found another place that was open, and we went there.
Yeah.
And then Dom and everybody else showed up too. And you ate 4 bowls of just the most plain fucking shit
Yeah.
ever. And I'm just watching him do this, and I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
I put down 100 pieces of nigiri sushi.
Well, so do I.
But that's like healthy shit, man.
Yeah, that's not cheating, by the way. Whoever's watching this, that's a high carb.
Snacks don't count.
Yeah, snacks don't count.
Snacks,
cheating is eating donuts with pizza as a
snacks don't count as a patty.
And we had eating. There's something on. There's a video that went viral.
If somebody messes up and eats like something like that, say like they're like, how long does it take to fix a mistake like that?
Well, if they're in
Depends on the
shape,
person.
it shouldn't do anything. I'm not encouraging anybody to cheat on their diet. So,
but like in a week, they'll be back on track.
If they do it 5 days in a row, that's a different story.
If Carlo had an extra 30 grams of fat one day, probably wouldn't kill him.
Yeah.
But if Chelsea had an extra 100 grams of carbs,
Yeah.
we'd be working backwards.
Depending how close you are to the show, it could be a real problem.
It just depends on the person.
Yeah.
Okay.
Depends on how responsive they are to certain things.
Yeah, there's like one of my clients, unheard of. I never seen this before ever. It's like a recent client too. I'll name her. Her name is Angel Christian. Remember Angel?
Yeah.
I'm like, just do whatever you want. You just keep getting more conditioned as you keep eating more. We're talking about a 114-pound athlete eating 3,000 calories. Kept eating her and kept drinking her protein shakes with pumpkin spice, all the stuff that I normally don't even allow.
And it just worked.
Like the sweetener. I'm like, what are you doing? And I was like, well, I'm doing the same thing I'm doing. So it's like, it's a classic example of, you gotta be able to evolve with certain, you can't.
Well, that's why you never want to base what you're doing on somebody else.
No.
Because it's like, well, she gets to eat that. Wow, that might work.
There's some people where magic just happens. You don't know how it works.
And there's some people, they look at food
and
they get fat. They get fat.
That's me.
Your ass is fasting.
That's me.
So,
they just look at it. And
yeah, dude. I love food so much.
A lot of people think that with metabolism.
I don't. Food, bro.
Really? You blow up?
Nah.
If you eat the wrong shit, you'll blow right up.
Oh yeah. So like.
He gets shredded really fast.
I only carb up with 150 grams of carbs into a show.
Yeah.
So I'm like a little fat kid too.
Yeah. No. Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I gotta be careful with it.
He also likes his shots post show.
Oh yeah, margaritas and
baby.
Bloody Marys, baby.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, bodybuilders don't drink alcohol. The hell they don't.
Well, they don't year round.
Yeah.
But they do after a show.
Shows.
Sugary margaritas, man, and
That's
Dude,
the best part.
12 meat Bloody Mary.
I'll go
12 meats. Nice.
Oh.
We'll just go straight Ric Flair after the show, dude. We'll fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Suplex.
Dealing. Jack flying.
I promise
Ryan.
I know my SMPs.
Son of a gun.
Suplex,
I can do one on you. He can probably do one on you, too.
We could do a stalling suplex.
He'd probably be a lot safer to do it with.
He's probably graceful enough you could hold him up for
That'd probably hurt
stalling suplex.
Nah, I want to make it to 80 or 90.
Pull him up and just do the
20.
Yeah, dude, that shit's
and
great.
then drop him. Yeah.
And then we drop you. Damn.
No.
Nice and flat, though. Boom.
What, as far as powerlifting, bodybuilding.
Sure.
When you're going in the meet, and you are just having, or a show, and you're just having a shit 2-3 weeks, how do you pull yourself out of that funk? By the way,
I'm just lifting weights.
Do you have your coach give you a pep talk, or you?
But you're not starving, right?
No.
Before the show.
No, it's when I say I'm just lifting weights. I'm just lifting weights. I tell myself this isn't that big of a fucking deal. Okay, you had an off day, whatever.
You don't put the weight of the world.
It is what it is. I used to get super fucking stressed out. And the mindset of being it'll be there on meet day, not a good mindset. But I'm just lifting weights, man. I'm not I'm doing this because I like it. So why should this piss me off? I've gone from such a mentally jack myself the fuck up, get super hyped to just here to have fun, man. If I do great, then I do great. If I don't, I don't. Obviously I want to do great. I want to do really well. But I guess how I would handle, I guess it would depend on the problem for me. if it's like, because we don't miss in training. We don't. Like, I have that mentality with my athletes. Joe has it with me. We don't miss. We don't load anything up on the bar that I don't have any business lifting. You know, anything that I'm putting on a bar in prep is, I got this all day. Like, there's no reason I should miss it. But if I do, or if it moves slower than it should, then it's just kind of like a...
Is there fear there?
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's definitely, like, this last prep, I had to do my heaviest squats by myself.
Yeah.
There's nobody there to spot me. I had to do the heaviest squats that I've attempted the entire prep. Like the second or third heaviest squat of my entire life. Solo. No spot, no nothing. If something snaps, if I fall, whatever, I'm fucked.
Yeah.
I was scared shitless, but it's on the program, gotta do it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of instances like pecs not feeling that great, but it's like bench is on there, you got to do it. But honestly, I think that just makes me lift better.
Like I said, does the fear kind of help?
It just makes me think about what I'm supposed to do to execute a lot more. Like especially like if my pecs start acting up, I've had a lot of pec issues before. That's just gonna be like, okay, I really gotta fucking tuck, and I really gotta blow my goddamn belly out as hard as I can to make that bench range of motion.
Extra focusing on your form and
then I'll hit it and I'll blow it up and nothing hurt, and I'm like, what the fuck was I complaining about? And anytime I get scared of it, like I'll get scared for like maybe a second and go like,
let's do this.
What the fuck are you talking? Why are you scared?
Yeah.
This is fucking weights. Like this is let's go. Come on. I got very calm in my last prep. Very kind of like, we're just here, we're vibing, whatever. I was listening to like pop music every.
Not R&B.
No.
Why
No,
not?
I was listening to like Katy Perry and.
Come on,
you were saying
you're not
and-
listening to Pony.
And Pink. No, I throw some Toxic Pony on there every once in a
some
while.
Kesha.
Yeah, it's a remix with Britney Spears and Genuine, so it's
I got.
I'll
You gotta
show-
send me that.
I will
I
send-
might make
it's
it
good.
post it.
It's actually really, really good. But we last prep was trying to figure out how to be a professional, because I'm right at that point. Like the goal this next meet is to total elite. Once I total elite, I can compete at pro meets. So we needed to conduct ourselves professionally. So not panic, not jack myself up super hard or anything to get this lift. Like, no, it's just another lift. Or just another gym day. Let's just go get it. And it worked really well, but I didn't feel as powerful, you know. So I'm trying to kind of mix both mindsets. Whereas the prep before that, I was all adrenaline and stimulant and let's fucking go, smash my head against the wall. And then this last one, I was very calm, cool, collected. So I'm trying to...
Where do you learn through different preps?
More control, less less anxiety.
More, just how to do things better, honestly.
Smarter, not harder.
Yeah, there's a lot of technical learning how strong I am. Like, a couple preps ago, a lot of the warm-up weights I would take a lot more, like, not serious, but, like, I'd be more nervous about.
Yeah.
And now it's just like, nope, this junk. Like, you saw a little bit when we were doing deadlifts. It's like, nope, red plate, red plate, red plate, red plate. So it's like knowing, like, once I'm warm, I'm warm. Like,
Does that make you want to do powerlifting now?
Oh, he's doing it.
Not really.
Dude, you smoked a fucking PR on deadlift after not deadlifting for like 3 fucking months on a whim. You asshole. You're fucking doing a meet at some point. If I gotta drag you there, motherfucker.
It's the same
Anyways.
adrenaline that you get from doing a posing routine.
But yeah, no, I learn a lot after every prep. Like the last meet, what I learned was I can make attempts and make smart decisions in a high level, high stress situation and be fine. Nationals was very stressful. I've never been competing against that many people ever. Never had that many people close to me. And it was just make attempts, smart jumps. Everybody can go buck wild on whatever they want to do, and it's just no. This move this way, we do this. This move this way, we do this. We're not paying attention to that. We're just making attempts, because if I make attempts, somebody's gonna miss, and when somebody misses, I bump them.
Yeah.
So that was the main thing I learned from last prep, was that I can conduct myself professional. That's what this next meet's really for. Is this next meet is the real test. This is gonna have a lot of publicity. I'm gonna be standing next to in the warm-up room with the strongest powerlifter in the world.
For sure. Wow.
That's dope.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get squashed. I don't have a chance to win this meet, but that's okay. That takes pressure off of me. But I still need to go there and show that under these conditions, under this strict judging, I can still perform.
Hell yeah.
And I need to do that for myself before I can go do a pro meet or something.
Yeah.
Because like I said, we don't miss. I'm not bombing out. I'm never going to bomb out my entire powerlifting career. It's not going to happen one time, ever.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
What's your mindset? Two different worlds.
Mm-hmm.
Performance. Well, technically performance, right? Because the evening is performance.
Right.
Your mindset, does it change between what you're doing with comparisons versus now in the evening or finals, now I gotta entertain?
Yeah. Because in the morning during prejudging, I'm always like, okay, I gotta be on point, right? And I have to keep remembering like the poses and things that you teach me and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then in the afternoon, I'm like, okay, it's just posing. Now's just the fun stuff, So I'm a little more relaxed when it's time for posing, compared to prejudging.
Is the adrenaline rush different, or is it the same?
A little different, because like prejudging. When I first went up there, I felt like a deer in headlight, like completely blank and forgot everything that you were teaching us.
Yeah.
And then after being on stage the first time, I started to calm down a little more, and just being on stage more helped me relax.
Mm-hmm.
Or the more I got on stage, the more relaxed I felt.
Yeah.
So again, the performance, the routine, again, it's just the fun stuff.
That's honestly more similar to powerlifting than you would think, especially when you're at the meet. If you're there all day, you notice the tensions change.
Mm-hmm.
Squat, everybody's stressed the fuck out because
it's the most dangerous one.
Well, no, it's the first lift.
Yeah.
If you don't make a
jitters.
squat,
it's the jitters.
If you don't make a squat, you're out.
Yeah.
You don't know if you're peaked, if you're ready to go.
That's the thing.
Once everybody makes their squats, the whole room goes. And then nobody gives a shit about bench press.
Yeah.
Nobody does.
And then it's deadlift.
Yeah.
Nobody gives, and then deadlift happens. And that's when everybody's smiles start to pop up.
Yeah.
Everybody starts taking their pre-workout. You start seeing people like go, come
Because
on.
it's towards the end.
Yeah, it's
right?
the end of the day, and everybody gets a second hit of adrenaline. It's like with the posing routine. It's a very similar thing. It's like that's your time to show out. You've done 6 lifts, all your warm-ups. You've been here for a few hours. Like, what do you got left? Like, do you got anything left in the fucking tank? And you'll still start seeing people go like, and like hyping the crowd up and all that kind of stuff. Everybody comes alive during deadlifts, and it's a very similar kind of thing. It's you still got to go out there and execute, but there's a lot more of just a boisterous feeling.
Is deadlift the most popular?
Yeah, for sure.
So because squat doesn't quite get as much of a.
It's
like it doesn't get the attention deadlift.
So it's starting to, because
it's probably harder. Right?
It's the first. Well, yeah, for sure. But it's the first lift of the meet, and there's a lot of fans, like families and friends, that'll come out, and they don't realize how long of a thing this is that they signed up for to watch. Yeah. So they'll go like my dad. The first time he came and watched me, he only stuck around for squats, and he didn't realize how much more there was to do.
It sounds like a bodybuilding show.
So he did, but no, deadlift. It's because deadlift's the most.
It's recognizable.
Yeah, it's the most relatable.
Yeah.
You're just picking you're just picking something up off the ground.
Most people can understand that movement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Most people have picked up a big sack of dog food
Yeah.
off the ground, and then
So they can get it.
And then they look at 400 pounds, right? We bumped the spring.
I did.
Just
Oh.
play with his. I think it's just that one. If you there you
we
go.
go.
There you go.
Yeah. And like most people have picked a giant bag of dog food up, right?
Yeah.
And then they see a 300-pound deadlift, they're like, okay, that's like 10 giant bags of dog food.
Yeah.
But it's relatable.
That matters. That's what
Yeah.
they always taught us that in wrestling. Like,
Yeah.
if you're gonna hit somebody with like a corner of a table,
Yeah.
so like or like the steps, a sharp
Yeah.
corner or something, people can relate to that way
Well,
more
it's like
than
a steel
suplex
It's like a steel chair.
or a steel chair. They get that.
Because everybody's picked up a folding chair in their life, and then
They know what it feels
They
like.
see and they hear that, and they go.
They don't know what a power bomb in the middle.
They
of the
go,
ring feels like.
fuck, man, he just got hit in the head with a chair.
Yeah, it's relatable.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, picking up something heavy off the ground and putting it down is a lot more intermediate friendly. It's a lot more fan friendly.
They're just like they get this.
Yeah, and there's less rules with deadlift. You know, there's a lot less to judge for. There's less commands.
Yeah.
Deadlift is just platforms ready. You pick it up and you wait for the down. That's it. Very simple.
Easy to understand.
But squat, to me, squat's always the king.
yeah, a lot of guys say that the power lifter
It's
squat
the-
is king.
Squat is king. Squat sets the pace of the day, and you're at the end of it. It's the one where you got the most risk. You're picking something fucking heavy out. You have to walk it out. You have to squat it, come back up, stand there, and then walk it back in.
Dude, the walking, that's tough too.
There are certain federations where you don't have to walk out, but
Yeah.
in America we walk out our squats. That's just, you just do. You walk your fucking squat out. It's not a real, like, now, only person that I'll give that pass to is Dan Bell, who's squatted 11-13. So it's like, yeah, you don't have to walk your fucking squat out, bro. You squatted,
broke the record.
you squatted half a ton. I don't give a fuck. You're strong. Like, I don't, you don't need to walk your shit out. So, but yeah, no, squat's king. And then, like I said, nobody gives a fuck about bench press. It's just part of the sport that we
Which is
have to
funny.
do. It's just, yeah, it's the one you think everybody would care about, but when it comes to being a spectator, it's boring as fuck. Unless somebody is loading up 400-pound plus out of meat,
Yeah.
nobody gives a shit.
Right.
Literally, you will hear nobody go, yeah, woo. Like, I being an announcer and everything now, like, I know how this is. Like, trying to get people hyped up for a bench is almost impossible. But then all it takes is, all right, we got 402 on the bar. Yeah! It's easy.
Yeah.
So,
That's crazy.
yeah.
Mark, what about you for that last week before competition? How do you keep yourself motivated when you've been there so many times before? Like,
Mr. Veteran.
So like for that, it's like I obviously I want to be my best look ever, but also I came up I caught the tail end of the '90s with the coaches that I had. So the first thing they would ask is which is the last thing that people think about as maybe even coaches now is the first thing they would ask is what's your song? And I'm like, what does it even make a difference? I'm like, that doesn't matter. I was like, dude, you're gonna go all the way and bring all your A game and do all this and do a crappy posing routine.
Right.
And I'm like, what? I'm like, it doesn't even matter. I was like, I didn't even think about the performance aspect, and I didn't. What helped me at the early stages is, why I was getting so excited to get on stage, even though I was dead dog depleted. Especially if you love performing on stage, is being able to get that crowd going. So that aspect of it actually gets me most excited because at that point, like Carlo was saying, the work is done and you can kind of relax. But honestly, my mentality when I'm still doing my posing routine, it's still not.
Judges are still watching you.
Judge is still watching. Technically, it's done.
If you half-ass your fucking routine, though,
Yes.
they'll dock you.
Yes, yes.
so it's not over.
In my opinion, it's not over. So you can't say the 2013 Washington State that I won. I did pretty much a guest posing routine. So it was like 2 minutes, and it wasn't supposed to be.
But you showed out.
Yeah, I mean, was it close? It wasn't a unanimous decision. You know, was it a decisive victory? It was decent. I won by 3 points. You can't tell me that didn't factor in.
No.
Because usually little guys don't win. So, so you gotta not only think about that aspect is, you have to outpose your competition, along with having whatever your best package is compared to your other peers. But it's stuff like that that gets me going. And the part of about that mindset is that routine, that performance, morning or night, doesn't matter. That's gonna be on the internet forever. That ain't leaving the internet.
Yep.
So
you
like,
want to do a good job.
that's why I cringe when I see less than entertaining, or like even the positions of the way people present themselves. It's like seeing a pretty girl or a good looking guy, and they start talking.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, no.
You realize you're not into him at all.
Stop talking. You're so pretty. Don't talk. Type of thing. But going back to that, that mindset. I didn't even think about the future of the future. Is what a lot of people don't think about. You could be the biggest or the smallest bodybuilder. Is what do a lot of pro IFBB guys do when they can't compete at the local level anymore?
I guess post.
And how much do they get paid, depending on the person?
Pretty good amount.
And you're doing a 2-minute routine, maybe a 3-minute routine. So
Yeah.
the top 5 Olympia guys make probably 5 or 10 grand per guest posing.
Dang,
Watch
so that's
it.
why they do it.
And we got to watch some really hardcore guys.
Yeah.
5 or
recently.
10 grand.
We got to watch people like Hunter Labrada and Rolly Winkler, who are both top 6
I remember that,
Olympia
yeah.
finishers.
Super, very important. So like Hunter Labrada's dad, man,
Lee
if you ever
Labrada.
Lee
Labrada.
greatest classical poser I've ever seen.
Yes.
So I've basically copied a lot of his stuff. I've copied a lot of Sean Ray's stuff. I've copied a lot of Flex. I've copied a little bit of everybody.
Sean Ray.
So I'm a glorified biter, if you want to call it that. So I've taken a little bit from every single person, even my own coaches, but I've made it my own, whatever that is, whatever songs that I choose. So if you want to go far, or you want to make something of yourself, especially in bodybuilding, because I think, to be honest, I think we have the most potential income as bodybuilders, women's physique classic, because we actually guest pose.
Yeah.
If you take that on top of coaching, or if you're a top 10 Olympian, I mean, you're going to be asked to guest pose all over the world.
Yep.
So
You
I didn't
gotta
even
show
think
up.
about that. I didn't think about that at all.
Well,
So.
yeah, I think a good mindset for it too is think about the guy you're against. You're neck and neck. If your routine is better, you win.
Yep.
Go into it like that. Show out.
Yeah. Not necessarily do, everybody is going to do that. Not everybody has that gift of entertaining people. But you can work it.
It's also,
if that's what you want to do.
it's your chance to celebrate what you did.
Mhm.
It's your chance to show off and enjoy and
create that kind of
you
moment.
have that, just like it's going to be on the internet forever. You have that video forever. And that's where you're going to be allowed to pose how you want to pose. You'll see a lot of open bodybuilder guys do classic poses in their routines. It's because that's the way they like to pose. And Carlo does it in your routine and everything like that. This is the way they like to pose. It was flattering to them. So you'll have that image forever. But yeah,
So that
especially
could be that last little game changer.
especially with the posing, Mark is so strict on everybody for posing, conditioning everybody for posing. Because think of it in the way that, hey, if you're neck and neck with somebody, if that guy is shaking like a fucking leaf
Yeah.
and you're rock solid, you won.
Yeah.
You're breathing
Hands
easy,
down.
just-
Yeah, if he's breathing through his stomach and if he's doing that and you guys are right there, or even maybe just a point difference, that can
That
win
could be
you.
it.
That can win you the show.
Okay.
Absolutely. Posing is a horribly underrated part because people think, oh, I'll be up there for 60 seconds. And some people were spoiled a little bit during COVID era bodybuilding shows where they weren't holding people up there very long and they were trying to get the shows done fast. That's over.
Yeah.
The long shows are back.
Yeah.
And with the long fucking days are back, you're going to be held up there. You're going to be fucking held up there if it's close. And you're going to have to work. And if you're not ready, everybody is going to see.
Right.
And you do not want to be the guy shaking like a leaf and sweating your tan off up there.
Yeah.
And I think that's what you know, obviously already, and if you didn't get it already, but you will get the drilling from Jordan.
Yep.
On that presentation, because you know there might be 15 Nick Fridas on stage, right? So whoever positions themselves the worst, no matter how dynamic, you know, each person is, it's like each person, if their position's jacked up, you're probably gonna lose.
Right.
So especially if it's that close and you have a bunch of these, I mean, these all look alike, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shit, how they gonna stand out?
When you
It
got
comes
one
down
that's
to those
like,
little
It's the
details.
way you sell it.
when one's like that,
It's the way you sell it.
it's bad. Yep.
It's like sales.
Yeah.
So
Same
it comes
thing.
down to the performance part.
Yeah. And you can look we have seen guys who should absolutely, by the way they look, should fucking wipe the floor with people. And we have seen the good posing with the guy who's just
Make all the difference.
just a little bit behind him.
Yep.
But he looks good enough and he conducts himself and executes so much better and conducts himself like a professional, and he wins.
Yeah.
And at the very least, even if it doesn't make a difference in the points, the judges are gonna come up and tell you. They're gonna be like, your posing was immaculate, your posing was great, you looked awesome up there, keep doing that.
So it's a really big part.
It's a huge, huge part.
Yeah, the sad part is when you have somebody that's incredibly, like, they have everything. I've seen people
And
lose.
they can't pose.
But they don't put the work into that.
Yeah, I've seen some of my good friends.
And that's frustrating.
It was,
And,
oh yeah.
and
That's-
we'll sit there and fucking scream at them too, and we have no clue who they are.
Yeah, and we have no vested
We-
interest in them, but we're like, oh my god, this person looks amazing.
We
and
were-
they're posing like shit.
All three of us, we were at the Iron Man, and there was a guy who, I think he was hitting a pose, and he didn't do the wrong pose, but he did so incorrectly, and all of us just screamed, no, bring your arms down, dude. Like,
Yeah.
we're
Trying to help the guy out.
I have no clue who this guy was. Never seen him ever, but he looked awesome. He was huge,
Yeah.
but his posing definitely docked him a place, for sure.
Oh, shit.
And that's because the judges are going to be like, hey, like, we get it, it's your first show. Do your fucking research.
Yeah.
Right.
That's an expensive experience.
It's also,
Very
like,
expensive.
at the same time, like, even if you can't get a posing coach, there's a lot of shit you can just look up on YouTube
On
and copy.
YouTube.
Yeah.
And just copy. It's
That's
really,
honestly
it's not
the
hard.
shit.
It's not hard.
Right, you didn't have maybe a coach at first.
But I
Well,
think
yeah.
That's good advice for everybody. I would say that's probably a good point to end
3
this
hours.
year. We're only at like 3.5 hours, so
Yeah.
I don't want to.
We knew this was gonna happen.
No, this is great, dude. We
Yeah.
could actually keep going, but it's like late.
Well, no, we both been looking at each other going like,
Kind of like my roommate might be trying to sleep over there.
oh, my ass is wet.
And everybody's like trying to move. And, like,
I got butt sweat.
My neck
man, I
hurts.
appreciate you guys coming
Yeah,
on.
absolutely.
And
Yeah.
Thanks for having us.
We can maybe try to do another one. Like
that was a sick episode. That
I
was
think
fun.
if we can do one probably in like March,
Yeah.
like mid to late March, because
Before the Emerald.
I'll be a week or two out at that point.
Yeah.
We're depleted.
Though, yeah,
Right.
but all three of us will be pretty close.
Yes,
like
let's do
because
it.
I compete in April too. I'm just earlier,
Yeah.
so yeah, we
We're
can
gonna, what movie are we having a watch along for? I forgot.
Tombstone.
Tombstone, so Mark can finally see it.
Tombstone.
Well-
Just give me all the movies that I've never watched.
We'll fill you in on all the Val Kilmer movies. Too.
Yeah.
Thanks, Nick.
Yes, thank
Yes,
you guys
absolutely.
so much. And I think everybody, thank you for listening. And we'll see you guys next time.
Yes.